It is the finale that I have dreaded for so long now because I am not ready for this story to end. But even so, I still want to know how this plays out. So, with that said, let's finish off the Limbus Company and Arknights crossover event. Let's go live. What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G. Welcome back to the channel and to the stream. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to hang out here while we're live. And for those of you watching on the VOD after, you are awesome as well. It's exciting. It is very exciting. You guys know how much of a fan I am of Arknights and what that's done for me as a person and on the channel. But the fact that it's crossed over with another favorite in Limbus Company, it's been amazing so far. I love the E.G.Os. I love everything that we've done so far in terms of the story, the artwork, the characters. Everything's been amazing on this, and I know Project Moon put a lot of heart and soul into it. Yay, Limbus! Absolutely. I joined in time. Yay! I appreciate everybody for being here already. All right, so last time where we left off, we finished fighting the knight. We fought the knight boss and beat them before we wrapped things up. We have all the E.G.Os, but I haven't gotten to put anything into the Ishmael Skadi E.G.O yet. So that one I've been borrowing from a friend, but that's fine. Other than that, there's nothing too crazy. And last time we did extract as well. We extracted right off the bat and got the new Faust ID, the She East Section 3 Faust. I did get that, but we were rolling along pretty good. And I'm anxious to find out how this ends, even though I don't want it to end. Knowing that they're taking this event out of it permanently, we're not going to be able to experience it again unless they decide to put it back in someday for fun. Kind of sucks, but we've got to finish this story, and then over the next 2-3 days that we have left of it. Let's see. How long do we have? 2 days and 18 hours, according to things as of right now. That last time will be spent for me grinding to get the last of the rewards. So, but I'm ready to go. Ready for a ride. I know I certainly am. I am as ready as I can be at this point in time. So with that said, chat, let's get ready and go in. We'll get started on things here. Hopefully I'll have enough energy to stay and watch the stream. If you can't, no big deal, my friend. The VOD is always there. Let's go ahead and switch over here. Desktop audio, stream. Hope it at least stays in the Detour Tales. Oh my, wrong stream. There we go. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the one I like to use. Switched over to the wrong stream. I used my normal one from Friday from Fortnite. Okay. It'd be awesome if they manage to keep it in, or if they get the ability to, or they decide last minute, hey, we're gonna keep it in, you know, put it in there. That would be cool, but I don't know. They seem pretty adamant on it not staying, so I don't know why, or, you know, licensing, whatever the case is, it just kind of stinks. But let's hope it stays in some way. Or again, maybe it comes back in the future. All right, let's kick things off. Let's do an extraction for fun. I haven't done any of the targeted extraction for Gregor yet, so let's just do that for fun. We'll put one in. See what happens. Ooh, something down there. Something different. Ooh. Okay. Wild Hunt Heathcliff, Season 4. Okay. Interesting. That's something different, something I didn't have. So, here. Dullahan. Oh my. I think it'd be solely in the Detour Tales. We just don't get to fight anymore. That would at least be cool. That would be really nice to get that. At least be able to read the story, because I mean, it's a very enjoyable story so far. Okay. That's nice. Woo, Angsty Heath. Okay, so I got a lot of stuff left in the rewards shop, but I did get, these are the main 3 things that I'm worried about. Everything else, I mean, if I get it, okay. If not, I need to get 1,600 to finish that off. But I got the other stuff, so we're good with that much. Homeless man with the horse. All right, so stages, and last we left off, yeah, we beat the Fabled Knight, so we are on PC-12. What's up, Lucky? How's it going? Hi. I really don't want this to end. I'm like apprehensive about ending it, but we've got to at some point, right? Let's get my voice warmed up here. I've been coughing a little extra today, chat, so hopefully that doesn't affect things too much. Ew. Okay. So we got all these guys. All right. Let's do it. Musey, I'm here. What's up? How's it going? Ready to meet an old face. Maybe. Maybe. I'm a little scared, but haven't been active on Limbus, so I'll be marching through it. Been playing the final Canto 8 boss all day, trying my second attempt right now. Oh my. Good luck with that. I'm still way back in the Cantos. I mean, I'm what, done with 2. So that's as far as I've gotten. We're done with Canto 2, and we did the April Fool's event. Now we're doing this event, and then next time we play, we'll pick up with Canto 3, or wherever I'm at now. Whatever I start next, we'll pick up with that and continue. But it's been good so far. I actually was listening to the music a little bit today, just for fun. I was listening to the battle themes, and man, they are good. Here we go. Oh, you should send your friend code on Discord. Oh, absolutely. Send it on Discord. We'll all add you. Excuse me. All right, let's get into this. I got water. I got my last of my sodas here. I'm ready to rock. Canto 3? Right, exactly. That's where we'll pick up next, but let's finish this off. This is the doctor, researcher at Rhodes Island. Nice to meet you. Doctor, what's up? When I, after everything we went through, finally had the chance to meet the doctor of Rhodes Island, I realized that I had been building a vastly different image of them in my mind based on the name alone. I was thinking they were going to be someone like Yi-Sung, Faust, or Hohenheim from LCE. I don't know who that is. But the first impression of them was similar to what I felt when I met at K-Corp. When I met a K-Corp employee. The clock just ticked. And this is Dante, a manager at Limbus Company. That ticking just now was nice to meet you. Okay. Thanks for accompanying Amiya. Honestly, I was pretty worried about when we were separated at the border. I added a word in there, I didn't need to. I should thank you and Amiya, actually. We would have been in a real pickle without her, so... It's a bit embarrassing to repeat that myself. Dante says that we would have been in a real pickle without Miss Amiya. He's so adorable. I love it. Sorry, Manager Bud can't talk human, so don't worry about it. We'll take over the translation. It is incorrect to state that the manager cannot talk human. A more accurate assessment would state that the manager is incapable of accessing sonic means of communication, which includes verbal communication. However, they're able to produce repetition of multiple sounds that may register on a similar scale of the ticking of multiple hands, seconds hands, minute hands of a clock. Marceau just pulled a Kaltsit. He just pulled a Kaltsit. Okay. He just said, I'm gonna beat Kaltsit at her own game. And I'm gonna talk. All right. we'll give him some credit there. That was a good one. It was a good one. I don't know, something about the way Marceau put it sounds worse. Don't worry. It is not a difficult task when only a single individual has to be translated. Doctor, let us move on to the next steps of the plan. Next steps? Thanks to Limbus Company's efforts, we obtained the exact coordinates of the vessel masses, and managed to capture the decks with ease. However, Fabius, who is suspected to be a bishop of the deep, and his followers have barricaded themselves inside the bridge's control room. While it may seem as though they're hiding, I believe they're trying to bait us. As in, they're waiting for us to enter the bridge before summoning reinforcements from elsewhere to trap us in a pincer attack? Something like that. The elsewhere is most likely to be the sea, as their reinforcements are probably more sea terrors. Fabius is a Seaborn, and the ocean will answer to the call of their kind. Limbus Company and Irene will head to the bridge and neutralize Fabius. Amiya and I will accompany you to provide support and identify the situation within the bridge. In the meantime, Kaltsit and the other operators will remain on standby on the ship's exterior at the pre-designated locations. I'd like to avoid getting surrounded by sea terrors before we manage to take down the Church of the Deep within the bridge. I observed several entry points leading straight to the bridge while we were working on repairing the vessel. Your force doesn't seem numerous enough to close all of them off. It's true that there are many entry points, but we don't need forces guarding every single one of them, especially here. The hallway is narrow, long, and straight, so... Makes sense to me. How about here? Are you sure you're not overly focusing your forces to a single checkpoint? Let's see. But on closer look... Looks like the commanding officer Otis is finally in her environment. Got any questions, Manager Bud? I have no idea what they're talking about, if I'm being honest. Really? I saw you commanding the sinners earlier. You seem pretty adept at giving orders and making strategic decisions. Indeed. You seem quite adept at making on-the-spot strategic commands and identifying exploitable weaknesses and patterns in their enemies. However, the Doctor and the Outsider are operating on fundamentally different fields. No further elaboration is necessary. Agreed. That particular aspect of strategizing is not one of Manager Dante's obligations, and even if there is a chance for them to engage in such elements, it may be too early to do so. Is that so? It is. At least, that is what Faust has judged. What are they on about? I was about to ask that myself. I don't know. I have no idea. Poor Dante. Having finished her discussion with the Doctor over the plan, Otis returned wearing a grim look. Huh? Is there something wrong with the plan? No, there wasn't anything wrong with the plan. I expected a certain degree of competency, but they were impressive, far beyond my expectations. Really? That good, huh? Even when I think back to my days in the line of duty, I can't think of too many like them. Right, so they're dependable. Good enough for me. If your strategizing's done, let's get cracking. What of you, Miss Mayers? If it is too much to face what awaits, then you need not follow us. I decided to stay here anyway. The Doctor's going to update you in real time on where the safe zones are, so please keep that communicator close to you. I will. Hey, if Gramps... Is there something you would like for us to do? No, it's nothing. Dante, will they ever explain my actual job? No explanations on the job. You are stuck. You are dealing with just fly by, trial by fire, whatever, fly by night, whatever expression you want to use for it. Deal with it, Dante. If there's something you want to tell them, contact us through the communicator at any time. We're going to find a way to resolve this as peacefully as we can, but if the negotiations break down... Yeah, I know what you mean, Doctor. Be safe, everyone. Leaving Mayers behind with her unfinished sentence, we followed the Rhodes Island team into the bridge. The bridge was as gaudily decorated as ever. Fabius, flanked by hooded followers and sea terrors, greeted us with a kindly smile. Welcome. I truly did appreciate that kindness. Wherefore didst thou seek to harm us? Your suspicions are certainly justified, but I implore you to think back. If you truly believe what we had sought to harm you then, How would you explain that one peaceful night you had spent in Faro Muerto? We have never wished you any harm. We did not then, and we do not now. Huh. Not even a day after you folks stabbed us in the back like cowards, and you want us to believe that? Our wish has always been the same. We only wish to extend the freedom to roam the seas to those with capable, kind-hearted souls. Mate, we know you were just trying to turn us into sea monsters of some kind. I don't know why I got an accent there. That was weird. I could feel that. Monster is only a name. The essence of its being changes not regardless of the label given to it. Become one with the sea. Become one with the endless cycle of life. And one day your misunderstandings will end, and you will come to understand us. Looks like this fight between us is going to be unavoidable. I pulled out the identity cards the moment I saw Fabius raising his hand. The doctors seemed to have finished their preparations as well, as they and Amiya stood opposite Fabius. Incoming! Get ready, everyone! Where have I heard that line before? Gee! Arknights. They did so well. Let's stop them here for good, no matter how long it takes. Their strategic formation prioritized reducing sacrifices to the absolute minimum. Their commands sought to protect, sought to defend, and their forces were quick to follow them. Rhodes Island's operation was certainly impressive, but that's not exactly our style. All I can do is put my faith in the sinners and push them onward. Our style is, trust me to bring you back no matter how many times they cut you down. Let's wipe them out. Go forth and die for me and I will bring you back. I am Dante the Clockman. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can remember how to do this.
Okay.
Pretty good one. Ooh. Not bad. Ooh. Okay, we'll roll it. It's pretty close. Ooh, we don't want to touch him. Try to avoid them for now. That one. I think we're good. And then this one. Meh. Yeah, we're just taking care of them. Okay. Epic line. Oh, stabby Faust. Okay. Now, I did spend a little bit of time grinding, like I said, and I managed to get the little card thing for my menu card or whatever, my ID card at the beginning. So, I just have 3 more of the event-specific items to get out of the shop. Steadfast Cultist of the Deep. Ooh. Nice damage. Yeah. I really love the background in this fight. Oh man, it's amazing. You got that little water animation and stuff for the ship, and you kind of get the impression of it, excuse me, going up and down. And then of course the whole like of the command center, or you know, the bridge of the ship here too. It's such beautiful artwork. I'm really amazed by what they've done here. Go with that one. Go with that. Don't touch that one. Ooh, that's a stagger, but I don't want to use that skill yet. Let's go with that one. Neutral. Oof. Neutral, but that one's a little better in terms of... Okay. Dominating. Ooh, that's favored. Okay. And then... yeah, we'll just throw that out. Okay. If there's one thing our director's good at, it's setting the scene. Absolutely. The artwork, the music, the overall storytelling and things is just so well done in this game. And granted, yes, I'm not that far in like the main story of it all, but everything I've played and enjoyed so far, everything I've seen is just fantastic. It's so well done. I sent my Limbus Company ID. Does it work to send a friend request? Give me a second. I'll have to take a look. I pull up the Discord here. Okay. I'll pull up Discord here in just a second. Let me continue this. 3. So let's clash with them. Here's a 5. Unopposed. Favored in that one. Okay. Ooh. Let's go with this one. It's dominating. Okay. It's a favored. Okay. All right, and then let's do that. Okay.
신병 확보하겠습니다.
Okay. Yep, that's the ID, so that should work. I'll have to add you later once I get back to the main menu and stuff. Who'd expect stuff like Hand of the Saint to get worked into this collab? They did so much research, and I'm sure they worked really closely with the Hypergriff team on this, especially because the details on characters and just the look of the landscape and stuff is just so amazingly done. I mean, and then of course those, like here, okay, now we've got to deal with it because of the Nethersea brand coming in. That's so cool, you know. They just did so well overall. I'm thoroughly impressed. And that's what kind of has my hopes leaning towards hoping that they'll decide to do another one in the future, a round 2, or to do something on the Arknights side as well and work with them so that they can do something equally as impressive. You know, I would love to see them putting the effort in, excuse me, to bring something over to the Arknights side, even if it's something minimal. But just to see that take on that on their side, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it well enough, but I'd love to see what other versions of Arknights lore that they could tackle here with the Limbus Company type of darkness to it and storytelling. So it's been amazing as it is. I'm sure they could take anything and twist it into horror. Adding mayors would be so cool. Oh, yes! That would be amazing. That'd be so cool. Okay, so 3s. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do one of those and roll for that. Okay. That works. Guess who's working with the team and making Arknights Enfield? Hideo Kojima, I seen, had met up with them. So there's a rumor of a collab in the works, which would be amazing. I would be thoroughly happy to see that. Okay, wait. Where did I do that one? To that one. Okay. So, and we did that one to there. So let's do this. I didn't realize those were staggered. I'm looking at chat and not thinking. Okay, let's go with that. And then this one here, I guess that's fine. For now. I'd love mayors to take, like, even if it's a minor character role. Absolutely. Every little bit would be awesome to see. Now, I don't know exactly how deep Kojima is involved with them, but there's a rumor of a Death Stranding collab now with Arknights Enfield, which would be freaking awesome. Because I've seen that they met together, and oh my god, that's exciting. For me, at least, because I love Kojima. Like, his philosophy on game design and stuff has been instrumental in inspirational for what I want to do someday, but that's far off in the future. Sinking. Okay. Substitute. All right. So we're turn 6, and we got these final 4 enemies. 4. That's staggered, so we could throw these at them. Let's do that. Okay, 5. Ooh, unopposed. Nah, let's keep throwing these at them. And let's do this. Okay. Other Kojima as well? That's awesome. He's such an interesting person. Ishmael retreated, but she's not dead, so she'll come back. Oh, okay. I think that's the first time I noticed that. It may have happened before and I just overlooked it. Even though I consider Kojima more of a movie director than a game director, he's still an amazing director. Oh yeah, for his cinematic stuff. As far as how he does like his storytelling and his cutscenes and things, he definitely creates more movie visual type stuff. So I could see what you mean by that. All right, we'll just throw some of these out and have fun with it. Boom, there we go. Is it lagging for anyone else? I'm not getting any errors or anything on the YouTube side of things. Looks good on my TV so far too, so. I think we're okay, maybe? Ooh, wave 2. All right. It's a passive of this particular Ishmael when she dodges. Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I like that one. Let's take on them. Okay. And then that's an unopposed thing. Okay. Let's just throw these there. Okay, that works. Whistle. Stab, stab, stab. Let's go. I got my nifty shirt on that says stab, 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 so that's fitting. Nifty, nifty Faust identity. Never mind, just realized I was running 1440p on a fucking tablet. Oh my god. That's painful. I'm sorry. Metal music battle between characters would be awesome. That would be pretty cool. I was, like I said earlier, I didn't go into too much detail, but I was listening to some of the battle themes for this game earlier, just while I was driving, and man, were they some really cool songs for stuff later on that I haven't gotten to experience yet. Later cantos and intervallo music themes, just, ugh. It would be very fitting for a crossover too, not gonna lie. Oh, yes. When chain battles were introduced in Kanto 6 via Refraction Railway, they started adding units who can switch out for another unit. Huh. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's a stagger. Let's go with that. Or this one's a stagger. Okay, let's just keep picking them out. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay. Fun with that. Has been a hell of a woodwork with Limbus. Oh, don't give me ideas, Musy. You know I'll start to draw stuff. Maybe. I can't even finish a freaking drawing. I've got so many that I need to, but I'll start doodling my own comparisons and who would work with who. I still gotta do a reaction to the new Limbus trailer. I haven't done it yet. I forgot to, but... Started with the Deviants, who were units who are extremely hard-hitting and tanky, but start taking self-damage and sanity damage if they stay on the field too long. Ooh, that sounds tough to deal with. Actually, a little worried about dealing with that myself. Okay, let's go... These are 3s, that's fine. Let's do that. Struggling. These are all struggling. Okay. Why don't we just defend for Sinclair? Go with that, and then... yeah, fine. That works. Ooh, what did I miss? Oh, him, because I'm a dummy. Sure. I haven't used Deviants yet since I'm missing one. That's something I guess I'll have to learn in the future. We'll figure it out eventually. Once I get further along in the game, of course I want to test and learn new things, but I'm still trying to figure out what I've got as it is now. It's a risk reward too, as the closer they get to self-damage portion, the stronger they become. Oh, okay. Okay, I get what you mean. I do love that Marceau ID because he just like runs through stuff, does huge damage. Boy, does that feel good. Just watching it, the sound of it. Okay. All right, so who's still staggered? Okay, he is. Okay. 6. Stagger, dominating. Okay. Okay. Dominating. Don't need to worry too much about the Hand of the Saint right now, because there's no more Nether Sea brand popping up, which is a good thing. Oh my! Oh my! Oh wow! Okay. Let's get some water in me before I crack my sun kiss. Okay. Gregor, my friend. Let's use you. We're gonna beat them real quick as best as we can. Go with that one. The neutral. Okay. Struggling, dominating. Okay. All right. Roll with it. Let's go. Excuse me. The idea of the Deviant is basically there's City Amazon with a briefcase that is like, get a move on or we make you explode with the combat mode for the package thieves. I don't see any requests in Limbus Company. I said I will request you after I get back to the main menu screen, so I'll make sure to get in there and use that ID you sent, so. City Amazon with a briefcase. That's like, get a move on or we make you explode with a combat mode for the package thieves. I get that now, that's funny. That's pretty good. Amazon. Okay. Ooh, okay, so I've got... Oh no, my boy is staggered! And then Fausty. Okay, Fausty-kun. Okay, how many enemies do we have? We're on wave 2 of 2. Enemy 8 of 8. Okay. Now we've got brands starting to appear. Okay, we need to get rid of that. So, give me that. Okay, so 6. Dominate that. Okay. Ah, what are we doing? I don't mean to do that. Okay. Ooh. Okay, go with it. Take care of them, and that one. Okay, start. I do that too, scream when Merrick gets staggered. Oh man. My boy Hong Lu. I don't want him to get staggered, it sucks. My little precious boy. Sinclair and Faust will be leaving the stage in 2 turns. Well, we'll just have to make do, I guess. I do have stuff. Could I potentially? To corrode 0. I could use that. Why not? Excuse me. And do I have enough stuff to use this? 0 corrode. Okay. Man, I should have used Gregor earlier on. I didn't think to. Okay. These are unopposed right now, so let's use her E.G.O and attack. Dominating. Okay. Okay. And then all right, let's go. Let's do this. Hard focus, Fabius. The Faust one heals, which is nice.
흐릿한 등화 곱게 적은 종이에 번졌으니
Let's see what happens here.
식구의 한해
Come on, Ling. Let's do this.
긴 벼로의
Ooh, baby. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Limbus Company の戦闘、私もまた一つ学ばせていただきました。
Come on, Dawn. Ooh. Okay. Rhino Ram. Oh. Oh. Okay, that was good. Ooh.
아득한 야정
Command meltdown.
멈추지
That looked like we hit high with our coins.
희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로
Come on, monster.
답을 구하시길.
Yum.
적을 물어뜯고 너의
Okay.
쓸모를 보여라.
All right, we can make do with this. Do you know about attack weight manipulation? Not quite, since I'm still relatively new. I mean, there's a possibility it's something that I have heard of and just I'm not really understanding yet. But
제압 실시.
excuse me.
꿈을 꾸러 가도록.
We got him. Let's go. Attack weight usually won't focus slots which are already being targeted by something, but it'll retain its targeting even after you reselect the attack you use to manipulate it with. Okay, I think I understand. Maybe. He will get these things eventually, still early game. You might be putting too much faith in me, Musey. You're pretty persistent. Fabius flees again, using Sea Terrors and his followers as meat shields. Wait, no. I see it now. It's not Fabius who's putting them in harm's way to save himself. The Sea Terrors and the cultists are throwing themselves in our way, entirely willing to sacrifice their lives to ensure that Fabius gets away. But for all that, the only place left for him to flee on the ship, wounded and cornered by the sinners in Irene's lamplight, was the decks. Nowhere left to run, Fabius. I understand you can't help but continue to thrash and struggle to live, even knowing that there's no hope. Fabius is like a Magikarp. Flop. Flop, flop. Thrash around, struggle to live, You struggle, buddy. You struggle, you little Magikarp, you, but Rhodes Island and Limbus Company, we gonna get you. We gonna get you quick. Hopefully. Moving on. Running will only make your pain worse. That's different. Fabi didn't run to live. The voice echoes from under the dark sky. Mayors? Mayors appearing quite different from how she did a moment ago. She approaches Fabius slowly, her expression solemn and mournful. She looks down at him wordlessly. I told you that your methods won't win their understanding, Fabi. What a shame. I thought those with such wisdom and aptitude would. I hoped you would still be able to realize your ideal here, even after I'd left. It will be realized. Fabius may die here, but we will remain. Now it is time. Devour me. What Fabius blurted out threw us off once again, even before we regained our footing from the shock of realizing Mayer's true allegiance. Eat people? Oh, looks like they're about to give us a live demonstration of some gourmet art. I heard it's a pretty common thing in the District 23 backstreets, but I'd rather not see it in person. Hey, I think I'm just gonna look away. That's okay, right? Just what? Doctor, weaker Seaborns willingly let themselves be devoured by stronger ones, thereby sharing their experiences and nutrients with them. This is a commonly accepted practice among them. It is but a behavior that prioritizes survival over all else. This isn't done in any sense of sacrifice. The time is here. Devour me. Set sail toward your ideal. Sorry, Fabi. I've still got some canned food left for me on this ship, and I think I'll delay becoming a Seaborn for a little while. Why? I found a new destination. I'll gain a new power from there, and then become a Seaborn. So now is not the time yet. If that is your will, O Bishop. Don't worry, your flesh will fatten the bloodkin of the sea. Mayers waves her hand, and sea terrors climb up to the vessel from the ship and begin tearing Fabius to pieces. Well, it wasn't Limbus Company or Rhodes Island that got Fabius. It was the sea terrors. And Mayers. Wow. I actually did not see that one coming. I don't know how, but I did not see that one coming. That's an interesting twist. Despite the way it looked, Fabius looked exhilarated. Nary a look of suffering or pain wrinkling his face as they ripped his flesh apart. We turned away from this scene that could not be described as anything else other than cannibalism to look at Mayers. Kaltsit, is she... Don't need to ask questions when the answers lie plainly before you, Doctor. What is happening? Wherefore did young Mayers... It wasn't Fabius. Mayers was the Bishop of the Deep. What is the deal? I did not see that coming! Ah, man. Yeah, especially since early on in the intervallo you called her out on it. I didn't see it. Oh man, I'm so bad at that. Most valued employees you sung this time. Let's go. All right. 12 of 14. We got a story bit. Light of the city. Man, I can't believe it. They've played us. Don't despair. We still have the upper hand. We defeated Fabius and his cultists already, and even if they were to summon more sea terrors, we should be able to handle them without much trouble. Hey, Age here. Just what were you thinking the entire time as you deceived us? I had a feeling I knew what she was going to say to that. She was either going to say it was for our sake, that it wasn't a deception at all, or maybe she'll give us one final gloating. But her reply, the words of which she carefully selected after gazing out at the far ocean, was not what any of us could have expected. I'm sorry. I thought this would be the better way to approach you, but I see how it can come across as nothing more than a deception. You're sorry? Why? Dante wants to know why you're sorry. Huh? Well, that's because I did something wrong. Wait, hold on. You've been deceiving us all along, Mayors, and now you're gonna... Oi, what exactly are you after? You're after the same thing that geezer was, what? Ain't it? Ain't that right? Turn us into your bloodkins. That it was all for our sake. Giving all kinds of ridiculous excuses to turn us into one of those monsters. I do hope that you would all one day accept becoming Seaborns. But I'm about to demand that you let yourselves be transformed today, right here and now. I understand that we all need some time to mentally prepare ourselves. I understand your statement to be implying that you will not be forcing this upon us should we refuse. That's correct. It'd be against manners to do what Fabius did, shoving sea terror cells inside your body out of nowhere. Manners, huh? Well, I was taken aback by the fact that Mayers was a bishop of the deep. It was also true that Mayers had never tried to bring us harm, unlike Fabius, who attacked the sinners directly. While she did almost get us in big trouble with Irene while explaining things to us, it's also true that Mayers has been extremely helpful so far. It was her who led us to the lighthouse, and it was her who stayed in that crumbling lighthouse until the repairs were done, as that terrifying night continued to assail its walls. What was your actual relationship to Fabius, anyway? Just someone who also strove to realize the visions of our ideals. Our goals once converged, but not now. I was pretty taken aback, too, when they attacked you back at the village. Maybe he got greedy when he saw Faust and Otis repairing the ship. He got greedy? Fabius believed that welcoming capable people as bloodkin would expedite Seaborn's evolution. Cool. So you're like some cult leader, but you don't necessarily want to antagonize us. You still haven't told us what you're after, though. I'm going to the city that lies beyond the dimensional door. So you're trying to flee to a different world where the Inquisition won't be able to chase you? This isn't running away. I just want to help the people of the city, that's all. So I'm bringing the Seaborns with me to the city. Oh, so that's her plan. Seaborn's in the city. Interesting. Don't tell me. You're going to invade the city alongside those monsters, then? Then the foghorn suddenly blared, and the ship shook as it began to move. Vessel Massus has begun to move. Is this an automated sailing program? The vessel Massus will now sail toward the dimensional door. I'll let Rhodes Island and Irene go right in front of the door, so don't worry. Did you seriously just tell us not to worry? Faust! Please calm yourself, Dante. It has not yet been determined if that is indeed the dimensional door connecting directly back to the city. No, it has to be. The warm, shining light and the voice from within. It's getting clearer and clearer. Why don't we just let them into the city? The battles thus far have done well enough to demonstrate the level of danger Seaborns pose. However, I doubt they'll get very far if they were to enter the city. Don't you agree? Your eyes got big with that one. That was such a cool revelation, though. In Hongyuan, we've all seen what happens when sentient non-human entities enter the city. The head will take action the moment they realize their presence. Of course, we must prepare ourselves for repercussions in case they decide to hold Limbus Company responsible once the dust settles. Yet it's also very likely that we will fully escape any culpability. And we saw in the memories of the Kong Massacre. Your thoughts, Faust? Urban nightmare. However, considering their specific attributes, it will not take long for them to rise to become a star of the city-level threat. There is a reasonable possibility that they may be issued the Imperitus Civitatis classification. Is that not an acceptable risk? If not the head, they should be manageable by a wing. This isn't as terrible as of a calamity. This isn't that terrible of a calamity. Man, I can't read tonight, chat. I'm sorry. I'm butchering things. I've also got a cough I've been holding in. The Kaltsit shook her head resolutely. No. Her technology seems to be based on something else, which is neither Originium Arts nor any of its derived technology. And that is precisely what could make your world vulnerable against Seaborns. Oh my god. Is it because they learn fast? Yes, those on the front lines of the war against Seaborns stubbornly stick to using traditional low-tech weapons. Deploying high-technology weapons against them is only going to make you an enticing meal. And can't we just let whatever unfortunate wing that ends up fighting these? Do take into account that it may take a significant amount of time to earn their trust. Even if they were to be convinced, there would be other parties with alternative perspectives on that matter, complicating issues. The situation will rapidly grow out of control if backstreet syndicates or fixers get involved, unless the head designates a taboo to prevent it. Even then, considering what she has been saying, yes, we must consider the possibility that they may be capable of absorbing the head's technology as well before they are expelled from the city. How do you plan on helping the people of the city, mayors? By giving them a chance to become Seaborns. What are you on about? Become Seaborns? She ain't all there either, hey? What kind of help is that? Mayors, you know that's no different from what the Church of the Deep is doing here. No, it is different, because someone showered the city with the light. The light? The beam of light from the White Nights and Dark Days incident. How do you... Could it be? Becoming a Seaborn is to become part of a great will called We Many. By doing so, one can be reborn as an altruistic life form, but at the cost of ego, the sense of self. And that's always been my issue with it. Everyone has beliefs of their own, dreams of their own. It feels too empty to lose all of that when they inevitably lose their sense of selves as they become Seaborns. Look, I want each Seaborn to have their own wishes. But the light shining through the dimensional door to our world is too faint to push them forward toward that evolution. If only the light of the city could become more tangible, it just might be able to give every Seaborn an identity of their own, to remain uniquely themselves. Then why is it that you advocate towards those of the city to join the Seaborns, when one could simply learn more of the light after returning here? At first, I thought all I needed was a clue to a better evolution, but Don Quixote's tales of adventures changed my mind. Mine adventures? You don't understand just how precarious you all are. And how would you? When you were born into that kind of a world from the very start. A place where life has become a commodity and gold one of its few religions. The city has abandoned its yesterdays to survive today, and by doing so has given up on its tomorrows. Just as I needed the light, the city needs Seaborns. I do find it funny that it took to a collab event before Limbus went over the whole White Night and Dark Days proper. They're holding out on it since it ties to Ruina. I still gotta play Ruina as well, especially now that I'm in the fandom. Fingers crossed, might be coming out by Halloween. It needs their tenacious hold to life and their absolute unconditional selflessness. But at the end of the day, it still means that everyone has to turn into monsters. People ostracize the other. Something that isn't like me, something that feels alien to me, something I don't know or understand. So that fear is natural, because Seaborns are not human. But you just have to cross that threshold once. Miss Mayers, do you believe the nature of humanity to be evil? Humans are selfish, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Good things can come from selfishness, that's for sure. But the side effects have become simply unsustainable. Doctor, you've been to countless battlefields where Rhodes Island has fought tooth and nail for the rights of the infected. But what came of it? Peace? No, it's the same. But still, we're all still getting better, little by little. I'm not trying to deride those small incremental steps and call them meaningless. Change takes time, and should it continue, I believe your efforts can be a beacon of light that will lead humanity toward a brighter future. But what about everyone who is sacrificed while you're taking your time, taking those incremental steps? Every single day of that incremental change is marred by unjust deaths. Some are enslaved for no reason other than their indifferences. People live on in that despair that seems to have no end.
I agree with what the light told me. People are diseased. They're so sick that even in the far-flung future, even on the day the world ends, they will continue to fail to look forward, obsessed with scrutinizing each other in search of those differences.
Well, that's true. It also did correlate to LobCorp. They'll address it later, I think. It's only like one of the most important events in this series. There seems to be a lot of events just from an outsider's perspective, somebody who still hasn't learned everything about all the games and things yet. There seems to be a lot of events that people have mentioned are still being built story-wise and told little by little, so I'm curious to see how that goes and how things will be revealed as the series goes on.
Even when every Aegir returns to the sea, they're still going to bully and hate anyone with pointed ears, labeling them Aegirs. Even when Oripathy is truly eradicated, people are still going to suspect and persecute someone as the infected. People are imperfect beings. You're right. There probably isn't anyone out there who can really sacrifice themselves for the sake of others with nothing but perfect selflessness. But not when it comes to Seaborns. They don't suffer from all this absurdity, nor are they coerced to sacrifice against their will. They have the power to progress toward a better future built from mutual understanding. Because they're the kind of life form that seeks common ground instead of scrutinizing for differences. The bells. A strange shaped form shimmers and materializes before Mayers. I couldn't quite tell what it was, but it was round and it looked like a tool. It is possible that she had already met the conditions to effloresce. A possible explanation would be the absence of the particular pool required to draw it out of her, or the insufficiency of it. This isn't anything like arts. What is happening in front of Miss Mayers? Is our proximity to the dimensional door increasing the potency of influences coming over from the city? Precisely. Connection to Faust returning to normal levels seems to indicate that. Wait, could people in other worlds, I mean Mayers, also manifest E.G.O? E.G.O? Internal conflict and anguish is a commonality among every intelligent entity, regardless of whether they are from the city or not. Therefore, yes, Faust is quite positive on this possibility as well. However, What does that mean? The potential to effloresce in E.G.O implies the potential to distort as well. You've been dreaming for a long time, Mayers, drawing your own picture of an idealized world. And you have chosen the ocean as the means to build a path toward that vision. Yet, why have you failed to take the leap of faith yourself? I had to make preparations. Seaborns are beautiful. There's no doubt about it. It's just that the key piece was missing to really achieve what I want. You're not being honest with yourself. I know it very well that you were afraid of becoming one of them. Fear that your own creed might crumble, that you might lose your own sense of self, your ego. Yeah, the White Nights and Dark Days for us is like the core #1 event in the series. Oh, wow. The fear that you might end up becoming nothing more than just another thing swept up by the ineffably overwhelming will. Isn't it terrifying that this hope can just disappear in a blink? Who is she talking to? Is this something Limbus Company is experienced with? If so, I'd appreciate an explanation. She's hearing that voice. And that singular faith that one had absolute confidence in breaks in one fell swoop and their ironclad will is shattered. People of the city have the potential to distort into a monstrous form at any time. It is said that these phenomena are often accompanied by the distorting individual hearing a disembodied voice. Indeed, those who distort would oft behave as though they were engaged in a conversation. Of course, the same could be said for those who awaken E.G.O. At first, I thought it was Kathy, but it wasn't her. The voice was beautiful, comforting, and even cozy. The kind of voice that puts all deep contemplation to sleep. So calm and so warm. No. There's more to the sunshine than its warmth. The sunshine? You don't share your interest with the other devotees. Survival isn't what you care about. What you really care about is giving everyone a chance to experience what it feels like to live in a world of warmth, ephemeral it may be. Right. We have to be about more than just prolonging our existences. What really matters isn't survival. It's that we leave behind our posterity, our legacy. As long as there's a guarantee that the light can indeed protect the sense of self, it'll be more than enough to convince people to become Seaborns. Please, you don't have to concern yourself with what other people might think, Mayors. But everyone has their own wishes. I can't just bulldoze over theirs to force mine upon them. But that's not what you really believe, is it? You know that better than anyone. While you hesitate, countless people who are bound to the inescapable bridle will continue to suffer. That might be true, but... It's okay. You don't have to hide the shape of your heart. Its colors. The only thing you have to concern yourself with is how you can lead the people of the city. And then Terra. Okay, we can't just sit here and let this happen. Operators to positions. Operators unable to approach. She's surrounded by a strange field, Doctor. Whenever someone would distort due to reasons other than the monolith, a strange pressure would prevent our approach, as though to stop us from interfering. Looks like that applies here too, all the way over in another world. Love is our collective destination, after all. So please, let go of this tool that might break your heart. Don't force yourself to walk the path of thorns. Your pilgrimage needn't be that of suffering. Oh, I... You don't believe in any recourse, do you? Other than this, anyway. Don't you think we should find a better, faster path with less suffering? Before more people inevitably hurt each other with their ill intent. You're right. If there is no recourse, it has to happen faster. I can't waste any more time while people suffer. Follow your wishes. Follow your desires. And paint. Let's show them the painting of your world reflected in your eyes. Before the compassion they believe in becomes completely worthless. Whoa! That is sick! Mayor's the Yearning Flotsam. Wow, look at the jellyfish inside. She looks like a man-o-war. Or the little purple things. Oh, that is so cool. Little veins and like branches and stuff sticking off. That is insane. The hands holding this up. Wow. It kind of looks like a combination of stuff like that. Like man-o-war, jellyfish, combined with the Seaborn that showed up in, at the end of Path of Life. There was the one that was the Seaborn that was sentient, it could talk. The Path of Life event in Arknights, and it was actually a previous, like, explorer or whatever that had disappeared and came back. It's like, it's got combinations and elements of things from Arknights, but it's definitely got that Limbus stuff. That's so cool. Love the design. It's so cool. Welcome to Distortions. Distortion. Music appearance, he's here. There he is, right there. He's this little one. These little fishies. They're cute. I understand the shape of your heart and what makes you want to enter the city. But we still know so little about the Seaborns, about Terra, about Iberia. Whatever may have lit the fire under your feet, I can't bring you with us to the city as you are now. Even before the sinners had the chance to translate my words, Mayor slowly turned in my direction as though she clearly understood my words. But I must, Dante. Your adventures were full of exhilarating tales, and I saw kindness in every word and action of you and your friends, but that's not enough. You don't think they'll change? No, they will. In the far, far future. Excuse me. An incandescent brilliance burst forth from before Mayors. Look at the little rays. The way they look, that is sick. The fish here, they look invisible. They look like ghost fish. Those are cool.
This is neat. Past that light, I saw the ocean. The calm sound of gently lapping, crashing waves. The immense golden brilliance. A portal? Where did it come from? Dungeon of the Fathoms. A gate that leads into one's heart.
This periphery is where LCB Department's specialty begins. Speciality. While what lies beyond this periphery does not necessarily warrant Rhodes Island's presence.
Can you guys help? I don't know what kind of fathoms I'm walking into, but I have a feeling that we're going to need your assistance.
Dr. Kaltsit.
We're only here to investigate the dimensional door, but I don't want us to turn our backs on people we can help.
Rhodes Island accepts Limbus Company's cooperation request. I'll go too. You're still in Iberia. I can't let Iberian business be handled solely by outsiders, let alone an incident connected to the Church of the Deep.
Don't worry, it's not like this is the first time we're letting someone not in our group into a Dungeon of the Fathoms. We'll be fine. More sea terrors. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that sea terrors that were swarming the lighthouse are coming this way as well. I'll call Skadi here. Are we staying behind then? Amiya will go with you, Doctor. Following mayors who had already disappeared into the portal, we take our steps into the utopian world beyond. Oh, man. Here we go. Into the dungeon now. Pilgrimage of Compassion. Suppress the dungeon boss. We're getting so close, chat. Okay. Teams. This is what we got. Okay. Enter.
준비한 대로만 하면.
Oh, sick. Let's go. Ooh. What is this?
News of the war is getting grimmer by the day. The sea terrors are coming, swarming.
This is the day when the ocean-born calamity broke and sunk E.G.O's seemingly infinite starward growth. Is this the part where we summon Fiametta's granddad or something? I don't know. Maybe we might be getting to that. I'm kidding. I know, right? Aren't you going to the surface, Mayors? More and more people have been getting too anxious to stay in Aegir.
I'm not. If Aegir falls, it only means that the surface is soon to follow. Why? Think you'll head to the surface too?
I'm thinking about it. While there weren't that many, people around me began to leave for the surface. I considered some of them to be close acquaintances. They all tried to convince me to leave with them, but fleeing my home in favor of the land didn't feel right. The foretold calamity descended. It dealt a heavy blow to Aegir, but the surface suffered much worse. I had to help them. How could I not, after hearing that such a terrible thing has happened?
I think I'll head to the surface.
Seriously, the surface? Think hard about it before you go. If you leave now, coming back might no longer be an option. Every day must be a struggle for them. At least I don't have to fear for the immediate tomorrow. Aegir just so much reminds me of BioShock. It very much sort of is, in a way, similar. Excuse me. Now, I have limited knowledge on BioShock. I've only played the first one, and I haven't finished it. To be honest, I need to sit down and finish it, because I started into it. I bought the collection, and then I started playing it on my Xbox, and I think somebody gave it away for free not long ago, so I have it on PC now too. I just need to sit down and play it. But from what I've seen and what I understand of the lore, Aegir and their cities with their technology and the way things are, they're kind of like an underwater advanced civilization. And they have like different, almost like mobile cities underwater that can kind of connect and things in a way. It's really kind of strange, and I don't think 100% code how they operate in Arknights, but we did learn a little bit more in the more recent event. But in Path of Life, which is the most recent Seaborn event, it told a little bit more, and they have like particular cities. Each one has like different names. Like we visited Mlynar, and there's others that they kind of come together to form a bigger city, and they have a bubble that envelops them and keeps them, you know, protected in the water. They have shielding and stuff, and they can move the cities to the surface if they need to. There's a whole variety of interesting concepts with it, but it kind of reminds me of BioShock 2, so I get what you mean. Dungeon time! It looks like Rapture. Isn't that the name of the first city, or in BioShock, or is that one of the other games? I don't remember for sure. Like I said, I'm still need to beat that series. So it's my responsibility to provide help as someone who is better off than them, even by a little. You are an older model known as Delta in BioShock 2. Oh my.
I know, but if I don't go there to help, things will only get much more dangerous for the land dwellers.
Maybe that danger is the very thing that'll hurt you.
I still think I have to help them.
I procured myself an Aegirian research vessel at a cheap price to bring me to the land. BioShock 1 and 2, okay. Rapture is the place in 1, 2, well, a completely dilapidated version of Rapture. Okay. Man, I don't even remember where I left off. It's been so long. I think when I actually picked it up and tried to play it was a little over a year ago at this point, so unable to even submerge itself while moving. This wasn't exactly the best ship out there, and I normally wouldn't have even given it a second look. But I thought it would at least help me navigate the coastal sea.
I didn't expect this.
The very first thing I witnessed on the surface was the bottomless hostility against the Aegir. They denied my and Aegir's offer for help for the sole reason that I came from the sea. They denied my compassion, my research. Get lost! We don't need your stupid research. You're from the same place as that calamity, aren't you? Do you really think we're so stupid that we'd trust you? They confiscated my catalysts and tore my research apart. My wish to stand with them against the calamity was devoured by the hatred born of the same calamity. Any kindness, any compassion I gave them was repaid twofold in hatred and suspicion. Did the terrible conditions of this land transform them into monsters, or was this always their nature? It wasn't long before the research vessel I bought from Aegir was confiscated out of suspicion. A few weeks later, when I finally came across that vessel by the beach, there was an uncanny name inscribed on its side, Rebellion de las Masas. But none of that was enough to stop me from continuing my research for the sake of the land dwellers. I went through so many trials and errors to somehow impede the Sea Terror's rapid evolution, to revive the Iberian soil contaminated by the Nether Sea brand. But my work bore barely any fruit. And I let the days float by as I watched the Inquisition arrest the Aegir one by one. When my Sea Terror samples and research notes came into view, they all looked completely different from one another, some of them with fundamentally different physiologies. Even still, nothing stopped them from being us instead of I. And for the first time, I became doubtful of my efforts to interrupt their evolution.
Her tales were not entirely fabrications. Theirs is a bishop of the Church of the Deep, so that automatically makes her a sinner in the eyes of the Inquisition, regardless of her reasons. The more I studied them, the more I found them to be such compassionate, altruistic creatures. All they cared about was their survival, without even a hint of selfishness. They're not some evil monsters from the sea.
The third one is in Colombia, a sky city. BioShock Infinite was the only game not set in Rapture, but it had a DLC that was about Rapture pre-collapse. Ah, okay. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Mayors, I concede that Seaborns may not be evil, but it doesn't matter what they are, whether they are kindly life forms or whether they are simply a different form of civilization, it doesn't matter. Because Iberia and her Inquisition does not define Seaborns as evil. Seaborns are our enemy, threats to human existence. I have but one thing to say as an Inquisitor. You, all of you, are my enemy. But it would be a good thing for the Inquisition if I were to leave for the city, wouldn't it? Why would you say that it's a good thing for us to toss our problem into another world? That'll be like abandoning our pride. Unless people of the city, give you permission, as an Inquisitor, I can't let you do that. Yeah, and don't get your hopes up about that either. You can wrap it up in a box that says compassion for all you want, but Mayors, your course isn't exactly the direction I'd like to sail in. As the rest of the sinners prepare for battle in silent agreement with Ishmael's stand, Mayors mutters with genuine disappointment. Ishmael's stand? JoJo stand? I mean, like, however you awkwardly pose for JoJo, you know. I didn't want to have to do this. Waves. I had no better word to describe the horde of sea terrors crashing into us. But this is the only way it could have ended. Your words are composed entirely of your own color and no one else's. Manager Dante, right? You speak. We will hold the line to defend this place against the sea terrors rushing in from the fear. So, in the meantime, can you take down Mayors and deal with the remaining sea terrors? Absolutely. The manager has responded affirmatively. All operators will be drawing the sea terrors to us. We don't need to take them all down. We just need to act as a wall between the wave and the people of Limbus Company. Irene, I would like to ask you for your help as well. As for Amiya, please assist Limbus Company just in case. Okay, then let the mission begin. Here we go. Dungeon time. Time for me to probably fail poorly. Ooh, let's see this map here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I kind of want to make sure that I take on everything, but I don't know. Do you have interest in just Ruina, or do you have some interest in LobCorp too? Both. I actually want to play both games. I do have them both on Steam. I just haven't started them yet. This was the first one I got into, so we'll get there. I will get there, but I gotta clear some other things off. I just realized earlier today, and well, actually a couple days ago, and then it hit me again earlier today, that I've got a bunch of games that I started on the channel and haven't finished yet. Indie games I've been given access to, and other stuff that I've had chances to try, and I've said that I was going to go back and play them, and I haven't finished. I've got the Ace Attorney trilogy that I've got to finish. I need to clear some other things off my slate before I start something else like that. And I do have another one that I've been saying for over a month that I need to record for, and I haven't done that yet. They're probably going to be mad at me, but I've got to get caught up with some other things, and then I'll be probably starting those two soon. LobCorp first, most likely, but all right, let's see. Mayor's Fathoms. They all three say that. All right, we're going top. Okay, total participants. I want my main team as I was. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then these are my backups.
라만 차렌들을 뒤엎는다.
I love that. The artwork is so cool. I really can't get over how well this is done. Okay. 5, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay.
내가 맞서. 내가 아시의 이상을
Oh wait, this is one of those. Okay.
이상이야.
So. Okay.
시비수에게 이 앞에 숨쉬는
When I hear this dungeon's layout's meant to look like integrated strategies, it does kind of remind me of that. I only just started learning those modes in Arknights too, but a lot of games do this. It's always like that in Limbus already. Nah, other dungeons look way different. I don't know, I've only experienced 2 or 3 so far. This is my next one.
Excuse me.
囚人の皆さんの状態に何か変化が。
No, we'll go down, we'll bounce up. I'm gonna continue this way. That works. Even an MD, you're dealing with randomly designed. Mirror dungeon, okay. I get what you mean. I still haven't done mirror dungeons yet. That was the last thing I unlocked, so.
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
IS is also random. Oh, you meant Arknights? Yeah, Arknights IS. It's randomized. It's completely randomized, which is kind of cool. Each time you play, you can get different results and things like that.
신병 확보하겠습니다.
Okay. Not the Zinda.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
Which reminds me, I've got to do my Arknights dailies yet, so I got to get those in. I started on my one account earlier, but I didn't finish it. I was doing that as we were going live. Okay. Mayor's Fathoms again. Okay. There seems to be a commotion at the village square. Villagers are surrounding someone with a clear intent to threaten. The evil sorcerer's gone, so why won't this calamity end? Explain. Be honest, you just couldn't stand to watch Iberia thrive, could you? If it weren't for that calamity, we would have... Look, please, I'm just here to share some research notes. What, how to fight those sea monsters? Oh, now you're looking to help us? Newsflash, it's too damn late. These scraps of paper won't do anything to help us. The locals firmly believe that the calamity was brought here by E.G.Os. We have to put a stop to this. I could feel the mob turning towards us. An evil sorcerer started the profound silence. He pretended to work for us, but it turned out that he was driven by envy for Iberia's prosperity. Don't try to stop us, outsiders. They came from the sea, just like the sorcerer itself. As they were protesting, the hungry, harrowed look of villagers came into the sinner's eyes. A villager cradling an empty bundle of cloth, a child holding a staff and a hat that was far too large for him. They've all lost a lot. And that void in your heart binds you. It makes it unbearable to keep your emotions in check. This is how they deal with sorrow. There were no emotions or intent to be found in the great calamity that devoured Iberia whole. So they sharpened their sorrows into wayward wraths against those who came from the sea, just like the calamity itself. Which means someone needs to direct their anger against the rightful foes. Irene? Step back, citizen. Even if they were to determine that the E.G.O has just committed crimes, it falls under the Inquisition's jurisdiction to carry out the consequences. If E.G.O is innocent, you understand that your actions cannot be permitted. It seemed that Irene managed to provoke some thought in the mob as they slowly walked away from the E.G.O. Until they eventually scattered away. Thank you. As you could see, I hail from E.G.O. Ever since the profound silence, I devoted myself to studying Seaborns and Nethersea brand to help the land dwellers. I don't know where my colleagues have all gone, but what's the point of this anymore? They don't want my help, so why should I give it to them? He seems crestfallen by his experience at Iberia. They might not, but there has to be someone that needs your help. Who will speak? Gloom, envy, advantage. Okay. 4 to 10. Ooh. Oh my. Ooh. That's a high threshold, but man. 10 or above and predicted 8 to 22. Ooh. This dungeon is entirely preset, which is nothing like integrated strategies in Arknights. It's a coincidence that it looks similar. Lots of mobile games use this type of layout for dungeons. It is kind of a common thing, now that you mention it. The amount of mobile games that I've seen that do have that kind of layout, it does make sense. Mayor's is also a boss currently in Mirror Dungeon. I just now made it to Kanto 2. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Heath hasn't got good odds. The lower SP makes me worry. It does for me too. Faust's only, her high end is 10. We'd have to be perfect on that. 20 and above for the threshold makes that extremely difficult. Gregor's my best option here. I don't know. Honglu has a 95% chance to succeed. So, wait a second. How are we getting that percentage? Now, I see that it's very high, obviously, which is a good thing, but how are you getting 95%? What's the calculation method towards that? Honglu will likely roll heads. Because I see this is where we're getting our 22 from. 10's our low end. 10 plus 12, anywhere up to max is 22. But take a look at his number above the base number. 45 equals 95%. Oh, that's right. Okay. Their base level is 50% plus your sanity, which is the 4. Okay. I get it. Sorry. Brain not working. 50% base value for 0 sanity. 45 is your positive. Okay, so your positive sanity, so that's where the 95. Okay, I get it now. Let's give it a shot. 22, check passed. Maybe so. Maybe it was just a matter of what they actually want. I should approach this more carefully and possibly find a different research angle. Maybe it should be about destroying, or about trying to find a way to restore the soil from all the salt that destroyed it. Excuse me. Oh, if you're headed out to sea, would you take this with you? These are years worth of sea terror research notes. Take them. Maybe you'll find more use for them than I or the land dwellers did. After handing over his research notes, the Aegir walks away with an unburdened expression. E.G.O. gift sea terror notes obtained. I will not pretend ignorance before understanding. Okay. You're better at that than me. Okay, deal plus 10% damage against enemies, plus 1% additional damage for every enemy defeated or every part broken during this encounter. Max plus 20% additional damage. Can activate the above effect by breaking the same part repeatedly. If there are sea terrors among the enemies, the above effect activates at maximum potential regardless of the conditions. Interesting. Go middle. Makes running your other units in the front line in dungeons a good call, so you have more flexibility in checks. That's awesome. Okay. Let's try this. Let's go middle. We're going middle run. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, we got Nether Sea Spewers and a Founder. We got Hand of the Saint on this board. Okay. And this is one of these. Okay, 3s. We can go for 1 there. Favored. Let's go with this. Okay. Or actually, yeah, that one's fair enough. Favored. Okay, boy. Those are favored, but you know what? It's kind of equal. So, let's run it anyways. Okay, so we got those 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are covered. Okay. Good enough.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리죠.
Too lazy for that. I usually buy SP heals if there's a shop. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I do too, but I still had moments where I ran into checks my entire team doesn't work with. That's scary. That's a terrifying concept. Nobody works with the checks. You're doomed at that point. Excuse me. Man. Me trying to snag blade lineage gifts comes to mind. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure I'll learn someday. Okay. Okay, let's go for that one. Oh, wait. Okay, these are staggered, so let's do that. Boom. Okay, and then... Boom. Okay. Go with it. Kanto 2 is quite the gamble. Yeah. That's a good point, Bio. Very good point. Fair point. All together. Okay, let's run this. Okay, I got one set of my Arknights dailies done while we were chilling here. Plus some very scary checks and some mirror dungeons packs, which on a failed check will just insta-delete a sinner. Ow. I don't like that. I don't like the thought of that. It sounds horrible. Oh, I want to keep my sinners, thank you. Okay, let's go with these low ones. Boom. That's favored enough. Excuse me. There we go. Bite! Chomp chomp! There goes my boy! Do you ever just want to, you know, give one of these sinners a big hug? I want to do that with Honolulu. I want to give him a hug. I want him to be my buddy. Nothing says ouch like Sitter takes 100% of their max HP as damage. Bye-bye. Okay, 3. 4 on a stagger. Where do we go for that? Yeah, fine. We'll do that. Boom. Take that. Go that one. And that. There we go. Honglu needs it super bad. Aw. Well, now you make me feel sad because I kind of I want to make sure that I hug him even more now. Oh, come on. I'm gonna give him a big old squeezy bear hug. I know, I'm weird. Whatever, chat. You're stuck with me. No takesies backsies. It's also funny because some skill checks are worse to pass than fail. Ooh. Okay, now that's even scarier. Under the circumstances. Okay. We are running unopposed on these staggered enemies, so might as well just do this and be done with it. No takesies backsies. Exactly! You're stuck with me. And I'm not taking back my want to hug Hong Lu either. Ew, squishy. I love squishy sound effects, and this game has lots of them. You know what I think would make a dumb fun collaboration with this game? A Resident Evil crossover. I would love to see Resident Evil. Okay. Like IDs for the sinners. Ooh, no, that wasn't good. That was not good at all. That one. Oof. Oh, that's much better. Much better. We're just gonna throw this out. Like that, and go. One that comes to mind where you just get the E.G.O gift if you fail the check, but if you pass, you get the gift and take 30 SP damage. Ooh. At least you get the gift. Let me fail then. I'll take failure in that case. Excuse me. Oh my. Hi, Texas. I don't know if anybody remembers the anecdote that I told about my knowledge of Don Quixote in the last stream, the last Limbus Company stream, but somebody commented on a YouTube short that I released about that and told me a little bit about Don Quixote, like the original inspiration, and then of course said that if I'm not through Canto 7, then it would be spoilers to tell me anything, and I did appreciate that they didn't tell me spoilers. Seeing Dawn there made me think of that. It was pretty cool. It was nice of them. It was pretty cool for them to explain things, because sometimes I get those comments where people are like, oh, you don't know what that is? You're an idiot. And it's like, well, I mean, I kind of am, but, you know, be nice to me, me dummy. Daddy like you dummy. I hear you giggling over there. My wife's on the other side of the room. She understands that reference. Okay, 3, 3, 3. Let's go with one of you, and that one, and I've seen a few clips of the Dawn movie on YouTube, and they were quite hilarious. That's got to be pretty good. Boom. Okay. Looks to be doing pretty good so far. Okay, let us continue. Those ones are still ones, but I'm not waking them yet. We need to get these twos out of the way. That would be a nice one. Bye. All right, let's hit this guy. Go with that. I'm trying to maintain my practice on working on clashing and stuff, so. Lacerating bite. Okay, we got new enemies. 4 of 20, okay. They still haven't woken. Not yet, at least. That guy's staggered. Good with that. Favored. Dominating. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Let's attack this staggered enemy here. Get rid of them. Doing good so far? Well, I appreciate that. I think I've had some pretty helpful teachers. Hint, hint. Bleed. Crimson Phoenix. I kind of want that ID for Ishmael. I still need to take time and go over all my IDs, everybody that I have, and just kind of work on that team building. And I know we talked about doing that in the Discord, so I'll have to really just take time and start doing some stuff and working on that so that I can begin to build and work on things to improve my team a little bit more for some of the higher difficulty stuff. But, ooh, that's unopposed. Oh my. Let's go with that. Okay. All these are staggered, so let's go with that. Save some of our better skills. I really need to do better too at like reading and trying to understand like skills and IDs and egos and stuff like that, but like figuring out what each skill does and trying, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to memorize it, but still taking the time to read things the way I do sometimes, at least with Arknights stuff, is going to be a little more key for me to learning, I think, to learn this. But yeah, you're in this weird mishmash currently of Rupture and Bleed. I do like, you know, the effects and things that my IDs have, but still, I'm sure there's ways to do better. You already have a lot of powerful options. Sometimes it's okay to ignore status effects if you have powerful clashers and DPs. Okay. Go with that. The heavy dominating. Let's try to rid ourselves of some of these. And we got 3 of the freaking flowers left. Ugh. We haven't dealt with them yet. The last few times I haven't really had any trouble with them, so I'm actually happy with that, but control that. Answer me, hey, show packs. I kind of noped out of a discussion in the Discord chat for the Library of Ruina dub team the other day because they were really getting into some of the lore about the Heisho stuff, and I was like, I read like I didn't really read anything. I just glanced and I was seeing that name, and I'm like, I'm gonna back out of here. I'm not reading this yet. I want to learn it when I get there. But it was pretty cool to see how passionate people were on that regard, and trying to determine, I guess, what branch they would be from, which was pretty cool. But easy way to remember what status is usually when you start getting used to what affiliation a character is. Okay. Still haven't woken them. Good, okay. Dominating. Oh wait, that's still 5. Okay. Let's go there. To be fair, we don't even understand what the Heishos are. Like, that just means I get to learn with you. I get to learn alongside with everybody. Come on, Dino boy. I still need to see Sinclair in a Dino onesie after the gas station run-in. I should have went into the gas station and took other pictures. That would have been funny.
このまま行けば敵を食い止められます。
Okay, now we got one awakened, and we've got 2 still sleeping. We've got 1 over there, so let's get rid of that guy. Ooh, wait, no. I don't want to struggle against them. Hello. Struggling. Let's just, neutral. I don't like that. You know what? What do I got? Nah, I don't want to do that. Not yet. That's still low. Kind of sucks, but we're gonna roll with it. Each Corp's Shadow Special Force is taking medicated bolus to turn into Chinese zodiac amalgams.
このまま行けば
All we know is their subtypes are based on the Chinese zodiac, seemingly. Oh, okay. It's not really spoiler, it's more meta stuff applied to real-world application. Unopposed. Ooh. Alright. Let's roll that. Open-sided guard, offset. We're gonna do that. Ooh. Favored, but not good enough. Still not good enough. Okay. I don't want to awaken those yet, so let's do this. Try and get ourselves 1 down at least if we can. It's a high rate, but I still don't like it. Oh, the Nether Sea brand. My dumbass isn't looking at that. I'm reading chat and I'm not paying attention, so that's part of my problem. Okay, I need to get rid of that next time. Next turn. Okay. So, let's get rid of that. To pay attention, first and foremost. Okay, we've got that staggered, so let's roll some high skills on this. Move. She did. Oh my god. Also likely as the game goes on, we'll expand on history of stuff like the Heishos, but for now you basically know as much as us. Okay. Listen, all I know is that Honglu looks badass. You know, we're going with that. Okay, 3. See, he's unopposed. We got rid of one of them. I don't want to do that. I really don't. Let's defend against them. Okay. 4, that's unopposed. Let's do those. One-sided guard. Okay. Dominating. Have a chance. 8 and 20. Let's go with it. Nah. Use Dawn. Ooh, what's this one? Yeah, we're good. Let's go with this. There we go.
저 해충들을 보려내. 쪽방향이 아닐 텐데.
適した攻撃でなくても最善の選択だったはずです。
Jeez, Amiya, you have to rub it in that I suck at this game? Such a sweetheart, but so condescending, isn't she? Well, it may not have been the best course of action, but you know, you did the best you could. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's unopposed, because that's a 4. Dummy. That's a neutral. Ooh, struggling. Ooh. That's a bit better. A little bit. That's a little bit better. Ooh, that's struggling. No, let's do that. Okay.
전투응대에 나선다.
I'm sure Arknights had stuff. They also had like surface intros too, which got heavily expanded as things go on. Oh, absolutely. They have a lot of things that we're still getting to, and things that have been touched upon. Some things early game, and we're far from understanding. But you know, eventually. Excuse me.
모든 것에 이겼어.
All in due time, I guess. Is Limbus Company post-apocalyptic Earth or is it hell? I think it's post-apocalypse if I'm remembering right. Guards only work if you have higher speed or they're targeting you. Okay. I tried. Okay, so we bounced. All right, let's go center. Excuse me. There's a long line of people waiting outside a rundown building. Inside, people in the hoods are distributing something to the visitors. I thank the ocean's blessing. No, we only wish to help you sate your hunger, even a little. We haven't seen you around here. Clearly you've traveled far to get here. Welcome. Sorry everyone, please understand they're new here. People in hoods dragged us inside. It's not much, but this should hopefully be able to sate your hunger. Dried fish, huh? Amiya and Irene called them fin beasts. People in hoods dragged us in here. Taking that one. Dystopian Earth. 2. Alright, let's just pretend we ate. Gloom Pride advantage. Who will step forth? Okay, 40. So he's a 95% chance. It's probably our best goal. What do you think? 50% post-apocalypse, 50% capitalism hell. Okay, and she's a high. Her threshold's 12 or higher. She's a 95% chance. She has to hit 12. I think we're going with our boy Sinclair on this one. Yes, let's go. Of course, Sinclair could fake eating his food. He did it. He passed the check. Did you actually eat it, or? Sinclair replies calmly. Well, the flavor was certainly unique. We did like it. And at that, they seemed to withdraw their suspicion and turned away. Glad to hear it. Please come back anytime and we'll share some more. Without any reason to stay, we left the building. I felt a little prick on the back of my head, as though the hooded people were staring at us as we walked away, but we managed to quicken our pace and disappear. E.G.O gift, Sea Terror Jerky obtained. I can protect one more person, yeah, but only this time, okay? I can't do this again. That reminds me of the time, chat, we used to get like snack boxes and stuff a long time ago, and I used to review them here on the channel on occasion, but my wife and I got ones. We had Tokyo Treat was the name of the one of the company, and they did snacks and candy and all kinds of stuff, but they also had a spin-off box that was called Sakura Co, which was all based around tea and tea-based like treats and cookies and snacks and stuff that was really cool. But there was more candy in the Tokyo Treat box. We got some sort of squid jerky one time in the Tokyo Treat box. I swear the smell was horrid, but oddly enough, it tasted delicious. And that Sea Terror Jerky made me think about it, just because it really tasted good. I actually enjoyed it. It was so strange, but my kids about barfed from the smell. My wife didn't like the smell of it, really. I think at the time when we had it, we were still living at my parents' house, and my mom was so grossed out by the smell of it, she damn near puked. I thought it was good. It tasted good, just smelled bad. Turns start, inflict 3 defense level down to all enemies in focused encounters, all parts. If sea terrors are featured among enemies, inflict 7 defense level down instead. Ooh. I love dried squid. I miss it. Oh, it was good. I liked it. All right, here we go. At the center of what appears to be an arc symbolizing the city. At the center of that brilliant golden light must be Mayor's. Let's take a quick break here.
Are you alright, Doctor? I just need to take a quick breather. Woohoo! You should probably work on your cardio, or Miss Amiya might have to piggyback you around. Yeah, well, once we get back, I'll start working out like Kaltsit suggested. Executive manager, if it ever comes to it, you may trust me with the piggybacking. I'm good. Perhaps being in close proximity to Mayor's vision of utopia and at the center of the light did something. It will smell fishy, but tasty stuff. Ugh. The only thing... Babe, wasn't there a drink that we got in one of those boxes that was gross, too? Yes, now I remember what it is. So, that box that contained that was actually like an April Fool's thing, and it was all fish-related, so we had the jerky. But, now that I think of it, there was a drink, it was takoyaki-flavored ramen soda. Oh my god, it was one of the... That was terrible. That actually was terrible. And I know they did that just for the prank, but wow, that just was the most horrible stuff. But it had some other actually delicious things in the box, like there was like a fish or shrimp type of ramen of some sort that was spicy and some other things. But man, thinking of that soda, I forgot about that, but I remember that was where I learned how to hold your nose and take a drink so that you don't taste it. Because I didn't want it going to waste. You know, when you buy something, you don't want it going to waste. So I figured out, well, you can shut off your taste buds by holding your nose and don't breathe in while you take a drink. It goes down. But then if you let go too quickly, the taste reappears in your mouth and it's awful. I would be surprised if Judge Dredd was added as a sinner instead of an E.G.O. Judge Dredd would be interesting in that kind of a world, but I don't know how he'd last. I don't know. OMG. Seaborns near us only gave us a passing glance without attacking us. Something about the way they looked at us felt like they were concerned about us. Sinners couldn't help but look away with a funny feeling. I feel sorrow, regret. Maybe these feelings are denials for all those times she spent agonizing over this. Can we really bring back Miss Mayers? We'll help her return. That's what we're here to do, after all. All right, let's rest up a bit before moving on. Take a moment to collect ourselves, then move on. Revive all dead sinners and heal any surviving to max HP. Oh, look at the symbol! Ah, I love it. I love it. Now that I see, I didn't see that at the beginning, but that's the Arknights boss symbol. I love it. Here we go.
헌팅 커틀러리 준비 끝.
Oh, excuse me. Get my chest cleared. Listen to that music. Mayor's despair, the repulsiveness of people's ill intent, and the faint hope from the light found within. All kinds of emotions and memories rise to the surface of Amiya's fathoms, then sink again. Those same thoughts seep into me as well. Unfiltered, the sins that people have committed won't just go away. Humanity's ill intent will propagate unimpeded too. But the tides that Miss Mayers is trying to summon, to douse it, will devour humanity, their civilization, and the city they came from. There's only one music track that can fit this moment. Amazing. How many playable sinners are there compared to E.G.O? You're asking the wrong guy. We have 12. 12, that number never changes. I think you may, well, yeah, there's only the 12 total sinners, but if you're talking about the identities, there's a ton of identities. The ones that you can apply to each sinner, so. Will devour humanity, their civilization, and the city they came from. So I don't think that's the right way to go. Not as long as Dante and the people of Limbus Company refuse. This isn't like the time I retrieved the E.G.O. In place of the light, a speck of darkness casts a shadow. Reach out into the darkness. A strange power courses through me. Yeah, but IDs is an increasing number. A strange power courses through me before radiating toward the sinners. All sinners gain emotional connection for the duration of this encounter. I don't know what that means, but okay. Okay. Everything unopposed to kickstart? Okay.
아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호의 이상이요.
I'm gonna hold on to my other skills there. Roll that.
정화.
I'd say IDs to egos are a 1-to-3 ratio. Why don't they add more sinners? I don't know if they really need to. I mean, there's a plentiful cast of characters from everybody that I've met so far, but the sinners in and of themselves make up the story. They are the group, the sinners and Dante and the basis around them. So the sinners are our whole group, exactly. The story-based game around the character struggles. They have NPCs too. And a lot of the NPCs are really cool. And there are some that legitimately will make you disappointed by the events that happen, so like, you will get attached to some of the NPCs. I've felt that. Unfortunately, already. I felt disappointed in myself for letting myself get attached to them. Favor, man. Man. That's a dominating. Finally, we got one on that one. Alright, go with it. Also, click on Mayors and hit Observation Log. Oh, I'll have to do that. I've never done that before. OMG, I forgot to do that. That was an effective strike against the enemy. Well, thank you, Amiya. I adore you. Even though you were condescending to me earlier. Pain in my butt. Fitting if a sinner named Hades was added. They might have someone like him in the story as an NPC. Okay, so... and hit observation log. Lacking data, it seems as if all that have forgotten to leave a record of this entity. I begin this recording. Despite her bizarre and twined form, Miss Mayers retained reason in her speech, as that appearance is what she had sought long to achieve. While this may be but a long-expected culmination of inevitability, she did not lose her reason, no. That may be why she seeks to convert us still. To borrow Miss Amiya's choice of words, it seems that Miss Mayers believes this to be an avoidable battle. Seaborns are that which so readily devote themselves to practices of altruism, dedication, and self-sacrifice for the survival and prosperity of their community. From a certain perspective, one may even say that they retain a beauty most unmarred. However, this understanding is availed to us only by the insight with which Miss Mayers had enlightened us. Had that insight eluded us, naught else but fear would have gripped me when the tidal wave of monstrosities beyond understanding crashed into us. I don't know if I want Miss Mayers gripping me, but moving on. Of course, that is but a lone perspective of mine. For some, it may have been curiosity, for others, awe. Witnessing the infinity of life itself brings to mind the recollection of a fellow who once said that the qualities of a technology are defined by its user. All who make this city their home know that life and ecosystem have both become parts of the nebulous technology after all. Sounds of rushing waves. They say that defining the unearthed nature of humanity as good is fine. They say that defining the unearthed nature of humanity as evil is also fine. They say that defining the nature of inhumanity as good is also fine. Yet, is it fine to define the nature of inhumanity as good and to attempt to graft the goodness to humanity? A difficult question. I know not where we are, still, a distant outskirts, a different side of a mirror, or an oneric labyrinth. What clues that exist are far too scattered, far too scarce. What is certain, however, is that Terra is unlike the city. To seek understanding of the unfamiliar is a toil, an unpaved path. Thus, it is reasonable to believe that we have yet to comprehend Terra. The same could be said of Miss Mayers. Her clues to understanding the city are far too scarce. Thus, let us refrain from hastening to seek the conclusion. To a question so convoluted, the city is well within our understanding. Thus, for our return, we shall suffice. Ah, interesting. Nah, but we do have Charon as our boatswoman. Okay. Here we go. All right, that one's staggered. That one is 2. All those are. That one's a dominating. Excuse me. We'll roll with that. Ah, they woke up the flower. Darn it. Okay. Screw it. It's favored, but I don't want that. Ugh. Screw it. We're taking it out. We need to. That's fine. Ooh, maybe what I should do. Yeah, I should go with that. Isang, how dare you write a whole essay again?
말로 받았다.
ダンテさんの作戦
저 해충들을 보여내라.
He writes some good essays, though. I mean, if there were more sinners to play with, there would be more storylines to explore. Well, the thing is, I mean, from my understanding, what I see, the story and you know, how they explain things with each sinner, there's different ways, there's different things that they do to explore the sinners, but we also, during each story, get some in-depth stuff with some of the NPCs as well, so it's pretty cool. It's very, very well done. Like, I completely agree with Musi there on that, and
바람 불어오는 대로
like, yeah, they are just explored in such a unique way for each character. I love it. I'm still kind of like intrigued to know more about Rodion after Kanto 2 there, so.
敵は深手を負っています
Okay, this is a 4. Good, okay. That's unopposed. That's a dominating, okay. It's a 4 of 16, okay, we'll go with that. It's a 6, that works, okay. That's rough. That's a rough one. We do that, that's much better. Okay, struggling, okay. Let's go with that, and then, ooh, hopeless. Oof. Fine.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
After all, think of what IDs are. Oh, exactly. Each and every ID has its own story to tell. And I haven't really read any of them yet, but of the IDs that I have worked on and like, you know, worked on uptying, I haven't read the uptying like stories or anything, so I'll have to do that eventually, but if there were more than 12 sinners, I wouldn't have been attached to all of them as I do now.
効果的な攻撃
You know, that is a very good point too. I mean, under the circumstances, that's where things start branching off. The more playable characters and things we get, different playable characters, not counting, you know, the identities and stuff, that's where people start caring less, you know, about certain individual ones and caring more about,
ドクターのように
or rather, they care less about the group as a whole and more as individual ones further and further. Not saying that you can't have, you know, favorites and stuff, but
囚人に致命傷を
that's just an interesting thought
救
process.
済者をお願いします
You'll get more of Rodion later. Very, very cool. Good. Oh, we got 3 staggers there. Okay. So this is a 5. Let's take them out. We just start blasting people here. Okay, that's staggered, so let's take them out.
신병,
Give us
바꿔겠습니다.
playable Dante, though. I need it. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? What would Dante be like, though, as a playable character? How would that work? So many ways, I guess, that could be done. Most gacha games tend to start falling apart under character blow.
なんか薄いなんか
Yeah,
얼마든지
that's a fair point. Oh no, you got major attack because you didn't ego clash the big attack. I didn't know about a big attack.
능히 이해할 수 있어.
I'll have to watch out for that again, but I wasn't paying attention. I'm reading too much. Also, watch out for the brand. Ooh, good point. I didn't look for that again. Very good point. Yeah, it's starting to stretch across. We're in the middle. Okay, let's hit that. Let's take care of that. Okay. It's a 4. Beautiful. Time powers, maybe. Time manipulation would be awesome. Ooh, wait. No, I don't like that. I hit the staggered one with them. Dominating on that. That's better. Much better. Nope, don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Make sure if you're about to lose, you click the wheel at the top before the battle ends, then you can return to checkpoint instead of having to do the whole dungeon over again. Okay. I think there's a button that's just retry stage these days. That was a crazy attack, but that was pretty cool.
You've aged a lot since the last time we met, Fabi.
Is this a characteristic of your sub-race? You haven't aged a day.
So, what brings you to the Church of the Deep?
Seaborns are indispensable in our preparation for the impending doom. Nothing else can ensure the survival of humanity. Thus, it would only be right for me to join hands with those who are able and willing to become Seaborns, to search for a way to prolong our existences.
You're looking to use the knowledge of the wise and the talented as nourishments for Seaborns. But that won't do anything more than prolong our existences.
But is survival alone not enough? Excuse me. I thought a bishop of the church would share a majority of that belief with me.
Fabi, you and I both have to put our faith in the Seaborns, but the word faith might mean something different for you than it does for me. Seaborns shouldn't be our object of worship. We have to stand on equal ground as them and set our eyes on their natures. Please, step aside.
Desperation, sadness, sympathy. Mayor's emotions gush upward, carried by bubbles.
Terra, a land in which the hatred for the different has entrenched itself. The city, a place in which people, crushed by the trials of life, have surrendered to its absurdities. They both need the Seaborns, perfected beneath the light. That is but your wish, Miss Mayers. Faust does not believe them to be necessary elements for the city.
Even in the city, there are people who are searching for reasons to live on, dreaming of a better world. We all know that it can't possibly be easy to change, but there has to be some kind of worth, value in that process alone, in the lives we lead within the city.
What worth could there be to a life of the unkind? The kind of life humanity is doomed to exist in, where all we ever do is hurt and hate one another.
Listen, efficient order, natural altruism. They're both virtues humanity should never lose sight of. But there's no such thing as absolutes when it comes to the value of life. Survival is the right of all civilization, which means that it should never be up to others to define the worth of life, to argue for it.
But what if there's no other way? Can you even understand what I'm saying?
Some time had passed since I made Faro Moreto my home. Unlike my prediction, the Seaborn's evolution seemed to have lost its explosive progress, and Fabius seemed to be content just observing their slow development.
Maybe it's because they're directionless without a specific wish.
Even still, Seaborns were the key to changing Terra, the land. To stand against the incoming calamity, we needed their survivability and adaptability. And the humanity that has turned exhaustion into ill intent needed the Seaborn's blind, selfless altruism toward their own. So, while I never stopped my studies,
Something small but sharp continued to stab at my frustrated heart. Stultified and unable to be resolved. If we were to lose even our sense of selves and creed, assimilated into the stagnated great will. For the sake of survival, civilization had to be no more. For the sake of us, I had to be no more. The realization of that paradox made the first crack in my confidence that Seaborns were the answer to the problem Iberia, the land, and humanity faced. And through the cracks, the seeds of doubt were sown. But it had already come too far to find a path more beautiful than the Seaborns. No more wasting time with these stupid ruminations. There has to be a way. Some kind of condition Seaborns need to fulfill to retain their sense of selves, to retain their individual hopes and wishes. I stood adrift atop the inundation of years I dedicated to this purpose, holding on to this precious hope and steeled my shaking heart. And that was the easy part. There are no better solutions. Don't look away from the answers that lies right in front of me. All I need to do is find a way for Seaborns to hope and wish, to have them each carry a sense of self. I just had to repeat that to myself like a mantra, again and again. But my drifting days came to an end when I found a new path, illuminated by the strange light from across the sea. On that day, yes, the day when the faint blue light shone, a whisper visited me. Who's there? Whose voice is... What? The answer, sought through the eons by people I didn't recognize, played over and over in my ears. The voice that spoke it was muffled but warm and beautiful. The light of the city? The hearts that were lost, the emotions that were forgotten, a sense of self that... Oh, that's enough of that, but I'd like to hear more about the light. The light that is sprouted from the 10 virtues. And the image those words drew in my mind was clearer and more beautiful than ever. Terra, the city, they both failed to find a way out of this bridle. If they're going to be satisfied with living on as they are, then you can't change what you see by standing still. If you want to bring about a better world, then even if you may be lost in ideals, you have to keep walking. Survival, worth of life. As I've never been too certain about either of those complicated ideas, I had no unflinching creed with which to convince her. That's not to say that the city has no need of the altruistic nature Mayers wants to bring here. That's not to say that I have a better answer than the combination of Seaborns and the light. Even still, the emotions, the regrets, the conversations I found and collected over this journey, alongside the sinners, become my answer and I tick on. The jellyfish and the light. Honestly, I don't really know the city that well either. My memory only goes back a year, and for what is practically my entire existence, I've been surrounded by the sinners and our adventure. Still, I want to keep trying. You're right, the city is an absurd, vicious place. Something new and horrible surprises me every other day, but... Mayers, that light you spoke of, I don't think that's what protects the ego, the sense of self. To protect it, you have to first look unflinchingly both ways, the path that lies ahead and the one that you've walked. Then you confront them both. That can't be right. The light, it has to. You're just working based on what you heard about the city and the light, ain't that right? How could you be so confident that the light will be able to protect the Seaborn sense of selves? Ain't that just what you want to believe? I think it's a distinct possibility. Even if the light can do what you hope it does, Mayers, it won't change anything. Turning our nature's kind by transforming us into Seaborns? A convenient method like that isn't our path. Because the sense of self protected like that, the kind nature attained like that, wouldn't be our own. It'd be yours, Mayers. Protecting your own sense of self while being compassionate and kind, it's a path of unbearable suffering. We might fail some days despite our best efforts. Some days we'll be forced to confront the sins of our past and suffer. Barely. Not one of us we are now may see the culmination of that path. Yet, I can hardly find it within myself to simply leave it all in thy hands without so much as trying. You're saying that the Seaborns can't be the answer I've always sought. It doesn't make much sense if you think about it, Mayers. Those sea monsters don't even know what self means. That's why they show no hesitation before sacrifice. If you were to introduce the sense of self to those sea monsters, that selflessness you want will be no more. She's a Seaborn-shaped distortion who is not a Seaborn, and endlessly anguished contemplating distortion. If Mayer's wish is to achieve an altruistic world, then her desire has to be that she doesn't want her efforts to become meaningless. Seaborns may be the perfect answer for some people. A recent example, Fabius. It seems clear to me that was precisely his wish. But that doesn't seem to align with yours. Find a new answer, Miss Mayers. You're telling me I have to go back to wandering for so much time again in search of that new answer. You won't be alone on that path. Walk it together, relying on one another, and it won't feel as long. Trying to carry such a heavy burden all by yourself, Miss Mayers, it's such a prideful thing to do. All right. Another sea brand. Okay. Finally beat Kanto 8, now watching the stream again. Awesome. You've only seen a fraction of the ID, but to have a deep dive into those factions is an interesting idea. Okay. Ooh, that's not a good thing. This is all hopeless, so maybe should I be... That's all hopeless too. So should I be E.G.O? I think we're gonna have to. We have lots of stuff here, so... okay. First of all, that's not gonna work either. 0% chance of corrosion. That's a chance. All right, Faust. Oh my, that's not a good thing. Nothing works for him. Oh boy. Well, that's not going to be good, but I don't know if this will do anything for me. Dominating, that's not bad, okay. Okay, hold on, here. If you're going to hit Hand of the Sage, try to do it with your fastest characters. Take a look at Mayer's passives, okay? It would be Dawn in this case. Oh, so in that case, I shouldn't be doing... Or wait, I defended. Or no, I didn't. Never mind. So, if that's the case, Gregor needs activated. Okay, so he's going to be unopposed on anything. So Dawn would be the one to go there. Okay. Okay. Ishmael. I don't know what I did there. I think I screwed that up real bad. Excuse me. There's really strong that the floor has brand on it. Yeah, I screwed up and didn't pay attention to the brand earlier. I'm glad you guys reminded me of that. I've done that like multiple times throughout the night stream, but you know, it just goes to show you how bad I am. How much of a dummy I am at this. +3 power, +3 power coin of standing on the Nethersea brand. Dimension Shredder! I love this E.G.O. Hongluz and Yusung. It's just such a cool art style and thing. It's very cool. I love it. Yum. That was not good. Come on, Fausty. Do something.
멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
Remember how excited I was when I first got Dimension Shredder Honglu? I'm like, oh, look at the creature coming out of there. Look at how he looked. I was like freaking out. They look very cool. I've seen her roll like a 34. Oh my.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
눈부시지 않도록
A brilliant glory flowing. Oh no! Oh, well, that sucked. Yeah, we're not doing so hot. Stop undulating! Tides carry away the windows to Mayer's past, soon devouring them beyond vision. It's almost as if Mayer's in the dungeon of the Fathoms. No, the ocean itself is fusing into one. The majority of distortions encountered by the bus team have assumed a form generally recognized as an organic entity. However, there is nothing preventing a distortion's form from breaking that boundary and taking a different shape, as it may vary by the individual's desires. If her distortion is allowed to exacerbate undeterred, it may eventually corrode this very space in which we stand. As we were taking some time to catch our breaths, a few small machines tumbled to the ground, shot from one of the trembling fathoms. It must be one of those mysterious machines in Mayer's home we saw when we peered into her memories. The machines continue to whir loudly, as though the waves broke them. We saw that there were various apparatus attached to the sockets on their sides. Expensive they appear, yet how numerous they are. Well, you know, maybe she's similar to one of those fixer fellas who are always hell-bent on picking up every new cutting-edge workshop tech. Huh, it says Little Handy down here. Ah, Little Handy! This has an oddly similar structure to the Hand of the Saint the Inquisitor brought. Gasped. Then shall this fantastically wonderful machine be of assistance in our battles? Rhodes Island already seems to have their hands full holding the line against the tide of sea terrors. We should probably take just one and leave the rest to help them out. After a quick discussion with the Sinner, we decided to take just one of the machines. If only I had a Steam Deck to play both games, LobCorp and Ruina. Don't know how LobCorp would even work on a Steam Deck. Does that thing even have mouse support? I don't know about that, but I do know that the ROG Ally does, just because I have the original version of the ROG Ally. And between touchscreen and the fact that I like to dock that and connect it to like a bigger monitor, and I use mouse and keyboard on that, I'll take that on the go in places, and that works pretty good. But you could use like a Bluetooth mouse on it and stuff as well. Even if you don't dock it, you just want to sit there and use it on its screen. So that one works pretty good. Gain max HP and HP healing boost. Enhances the effects of the Hand of the Saint. Gains safeguarding effects against stagger. Gain an effect that counteracts the Nethersea brand's influence on the Sinners. Gains temporary power boosts. Ooh. I kind of like the HP healing idea for where I'm at right now. I mean, some of these are a little bit higher. Others are like Honglu's in real bad shape. And Dawn's in bad shape. So is Ishmael. He's getting down a little bit. I think I'm going to go with that. Oops, I missed what that said. I don't really understand how it works, but that sure sounds helpful. Activating survival command, okay. There we go. A little bit better. Okay. Alright, what are we doing here? This might sound silly, but that's not HP healing. Well, damn, that misled me real bad. Okay. So what are we doing here? Okay, she's going with that one. Hopeless. Ugh. It helps though, especially with the Faust E.G.O. Okay. Okay, and he's going where? To here? And here. Well, let's go with that. Okay. Max HP and added healing efficiency. Okay. Okay, trying to follow this line. Okay, wait a second. Where does that go? That goes to this one. Okay. Dawn is going all the way to the back. That's hopeless, okay. Do I have anything with her? Oh, yes, I do. I have Telepole. And I have... I could try that one. It goes all the way to the back. Okay. Okay. Where's Sinclair? Okay. He's got a dotted line going to the back as well. Oof. That's probably... Yeah, that's about the only thing I could do. Okay, Ryoshu is following to the second one in. So, that's dominating right out of the gate with that. Okay, and Yusung is somewhere that I can't even see him, apparently. Oh, okay. He's going to this one. Okay. They have E.G.O for him. Dimension Shredder. Okay. So. Okay, and he's coming to this one. Okay. There we go. Forgot to mention that buff, emotional connection buff, is under your sinners.
색이 화물하고 아예 기억 못하게 하려는 길이구려.
Recording all attempts to memorize. Ew. Ow. Receiving arts too. Ouch. Ouch incoming. Well, she looks cute like that. Well, that wasn't good.
말로 받았다. 저 해주들을 도려내. 물론껏 꺾여 제쳐라. 오여 길을 열어라.
Evade. Very nice. Ow. Okay.
너의 쓸모를 보여라.
Man. Fausty, Fausty, Faust. Okay. That's interesting. Always active. Okay, Ooh. Wait, they've got full... Ooh. Ooh, wait, is this that big attack? Is this the one I should be, like, either egoing or defending against? He looks to be heavy targeting Faust. She's low on sanity. Ooh, this isn't good then. This is when you should be egoing. Okay. Okay. Do our best then, I guess. Let's try, sinners. What can we do? That's hopeless, but hey, whatever. We'll try it. 0% chance. That one's hopeless too, but hey, whatever. Let's try it. Excuse me. You only need one E.G.O. Oh, I'm doing them all because I'm horrible. And she's got a high chance of corrosion. The one who last hits is going to do the clash. Okay. The rest will be unopposed, so you only need to use one. All right, well, in that case, who should I use then? One who hits last will do the clash. So, any recommendations on which E.G.O? Because Faust is in trouble to corrode if I use that, and her sanity's low as it is. Mirror would be solid. I've never used this E.G.O. I don't know if I've done any building on it, but neither have a chance to corrode. Mirror healing E.G.O. or bind E.G.O. Go with this one. Okay, so should I just defend the others? That's probably my best bet. Would be either defend or I don't think I can really do anything else. Just make sure he clashes last. Okay. You can defend or hit. All right, screw it. Then I'm hitting. Everybody's hopeless. Oh, that one's closer though. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ugh. He would be the last one because these are all faster, so he's the last one. Everyone else goes into the attack, but reselect him after you set everyone to attack.
정화.
It will be unopposed once you use the E.G.O. Chad, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm fat. I'm probably butchering this before your eyes. You are all probably pulling your hair out like you are a moron, dude. Learn to play the game already. But, you know. Such is life. Oh, man, I'm out of water. I'll poopy. I finished all my drinks. Oh, pray for you so that you shall surely break. Ew, he looks like a Greek god kind of thing going on. Tremor burst. Oh, we staggered him! You did good just then, but it was almost bad. Okay, so should I literally be freely able to attack at this point? Because they're staggered? And could or should I use E.G.O, or should I just go for, like, regular attacks? Basically, when you set them to hopeless, that was them taking the role of the clasher. Okay. Go for the attack. Okay. Smack the damage button. All right, screw it. High damage. There we go. I'll take your advice. 88. Whoa, 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 whoa. 44, 9, 0. Wait, did we do it? Let's go! Thank you, everybody. We did it. Oh, that was almost real bad. We were losing people left and right. Okay, I'm a little, my feet are sweating oddly right now. Let's go. Congrats, thank you. Oh man. I did not expect a win, but congrats. You have that little faith in me? It's understandable. I completely get it. Yeah, is what it is. But you know what? That was awesome. We managed to do it, but it took what? 2 tries for the night and 1 try for this. That's kind of surprising. Especially for as new as I am still to the game. Whoever is selected last takes the role of the Clasher if they can take that role. Okay. So that's why you had me reselect Mirror last. If that's my understanding. It was so bad out there. When you have such a low-level noob in a Dante like me, then, you know, that's life happens, I guess. Excuse me. All right. It's true that people scrutinize others for differences to find something they can hate. But it's also true that it is often those very differences that people look up to. That is indeed why we said to reselect Mirror. Okay. I will try to remember that kind of stuff for in the future, but these are the things that I'm going to need repetition on, and I'm going to need you guys' help to keep me in line and to hopefully not rip your hair out. Rip mine out instead. Make me rip mine out. It's one of those things, too, where if I get chances, I need to sit down on my free time and just replay the older stuff to keep working on different things. So keep working on memorizing these kind of things for the future. But yeah, we'll get there eventually. That Mirror's my fave. He also heals 2 of your people. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's my first time using him. I use that identity because that's what I have currently equipped, but that's the first time I've used that E.G.O. So that's cool. I love all mirrors. Agree. Well, if y'all love all mirrors, that's awesome. I will adore all Hong Lu's. I'll take him. Thank you. And admiration usually goes hand in hand with overestimation. Yes, and Miss Mayers admired these 2 unknowns, Seaborns and the Light. She thought they would be the solution to everything. Mayers, do you still want to go to the city? No. I'll remain here in Terra. I'll broaden my studies and I'll talk more. Find a new path toward realizing my wish. That E.G.O is excellent, also gives damage protection. That's cool. That's good to know. That is actually really good to know. I will have to keep that for sure. I don't think I've done any building towards it, like, you know, increasing level or anything like that, so we'll definitely have to do that, but it's also useful for what we call clashing downward, where we deal enough damage to stop the enemy attacking entirely without clashing. Okay. As for what will happen now, Miss Mayers, we're going to need to have a long talk with the Inquisition, but we'll help too. We'll help you in your search for that path if we can. The great arc built from the city crumbles. Light fades and gives way to shadows. And we found ourselves back aboard the vessel Massus. No, Uptie 3 should be enough for early game, but Uptie 1 is also okay, to be honest. Okay. As should the enemy be staggered, that means they don't even get to attack at all. Excuse me. So that's why they didn't attack there, and I got them into the stagger, which actually worked out really well in my favor then, because if they would have attacked, I probably would have been toast. Battle complete. Vessel Massus. It's slowing down. How's Miss Mayers? Here, unconscious. That mental strain seems to have taken its toll. It all happened inside the Dungeon of the Fathoms, but it can't have been too easy on her mind to send so many waves after us.
What'll happen to Miss Mayers now? First, we'll wait for the Inquisition's ruling, then bring her to Rhodes Island. Her efforts were misguided, but she also had Terra's best interests at heart. Together, I'm sure we can discuss a better way forward. What if she's sentenced to death? And we will need to offer a different proposal. We can consider it when we get to it, Doctor. It's finally over. All we have to do is to go back. As we were preparing to leave with our hearts much lighter than they were earlier. Hold on, everyone. Nah, we would have been mildly irritated, but if they won the Super Clash, yeah, there would have been a fair few bodies. Something's rapidly approaching us. A low thrumming roar vibrates the air as a strange shadow looms over the ship. Where'd this shade come from? Wait, is that... Almost as if driven by instinct, Ishmael takes the radio from Gregor and runs to the control room. Something must have clicked in Otis's head as she also turned and ran after Ishmael. Ran after. If those two are running into the bridge... Brace! Grab onto something! Oh, bollocks! Mucking it up right before the finish line. Doctor, Dante has advised that we grab onto something. I see. They're preparing to turn the ship around. Everyone, brace for impact. Stay alert. There's something coming. The ship leaned heavily as it hurriedly turned portside, and I caught a glimpse of a massive shadow gliding just beneath the water's surface, right where the ship was a second ago. It's a Seaborn about the size of... No, slightly larger than the vessel Massus. Amiya's communicator buzzes with Ishmael's voice. The currents are going wild. Wait, no. Something's causing these currents to go wild. We'll try our best to maintain evasive maneuvers for as long as possible, but we can't do this forever. If the situation does not improve, we may have to take the vessel Massus to cross the dimensional door. Does Rhodes Island have a way out of this quandary? Not at this moment, but we have to come up with one now, and fast! Dante, does anything come to mind? We should first figure out why that Seaborn's coming after us. Copy that. I'll focus on steering the ship, so keep us updated. With that, the ship immediately begins a sharp turn, narrowly dodging the ponderous body of the Seaborn as it swims by. We can't just take the whole ship across the dimensional door. We're not the only ones on it. The sea is too wild to simply turn around to let the others leave. Excuse me. It's almost like it's obsessed with this ship. Just why could it possibly be coming after the ship all of a sudden? Could it be the Fabius's order? It's coming after me. It's coming after her. Is Sharmla? Skadi, you? Yes, I'm their enemy, an abyssal hunter. As though to prove it, the giant beast began to charge against the bow of the ship the moment Skadi repositioned herself there. Just what are the abyssal hunters? Why are they so gung-ho about trying to kill you? Abyssal hunters are those who hunt sea terrors and seaborns. Of course, this isn't based on any emotions, such as vengeance or resentment. It's Skadi's... Well, that's not important right now. What matters is that they're solely targeting Skadi. It's because Skadi is part Seaborn. She's infused with Seaborn DNA. That's what the abyssal hunters are. Therefore, it's after her. It wants to take her. Just like it would with any of the other hunters. Gladia, Spectre, Opianus, and so on. I've seen Mayer's super attack deal roughly 853 damage. Ouch. My butt is puckering at that one. Yes, please, if you could get me some more water. Because I don't know how much story I've got left to read, but probably a little bit, and I'm parched. Thank you. Love you. Operators of Rhodes Island are heavily fatigued at this moment from their long defense against the waves in the Dungeon of the Fathoms. The same could be said about of us and Miss Amiya, who battled Mayers in the meantime. To engage that Seaborn in this particular circumstance is... Oh! Something shakes the vessel Massus once again. What's this now? There's more? There are indeed multiple entities surrounding our ship, however. A violent, destructive sound crashes through the waves toward vessel Massus. Past the sudden wall of mist, there was... We're lucky. Or was it simply how it was supposed to go?
Sharmla. Oh my god, I was right, I called it.
Sir Knight! 2 Seaborns. It's going to be fine, Miss Inquisitor. If he's the same knight we fought earlier, I doubt he'll be able to stop himself from charging at that giant of a sea monster. Excuse me. Like Hong Lu said, the knight charged straight at the giant, rough wave at the great Seaborn, as though he hardly noticed our presence. If we can help the knight repel that Seaborn, we just might have a shot at sending Limbus Company back through the dimensional door and escaping aboard the vessel Massus ourselves. Can everyone still move? I'm almost at my limit, but I can still move. Thank you. I've got a plan, and I'd like for everyone to trust me on this. Things weren't so bad outside after you'd entered the portal. Now's the time for the hunter to get to work. Bright ray of light from Irene's lamp shines upon those atop the deck, while Skadi leaps tall into the air using the ship's bow as her launching pad. If she lost the class, she deals like 11 damage, excluding nervous impairment. Well, that's nothing. The operators each scatter to their appropriate positions as commanded by the doctor. Ishmael and Otis both exited to the decks as well, presumably having found someone to steer the ship. Is it okay to have you two out here? This Kaltsit seemed to know enough about the seafaring to take over. While this crisis is far from over, she was good enough that it was reasonable for us to leave the ship steering to her and descend to the decks for our return. It doesn't seem like we'll be able to bid you goodbye. We'll all be able to bid you goodbye. Are you sure you're all going to be okay? You could stay a little longer and help. I appreciate this sentiment, I really do, but... Amiya pointed toward the dimensional door, which had shrunk significantly smaller since the first time we saw it. You don't have much time. I wonder if it was only supposed to open for a set period of time, or what if it's closing now because our work here is done? There was precious little we could learn about it now, but it was obvious that our time here was coming to an end. Thanks, Amiya. We would have been lost for a while in this world if it weren't for Rhodes Island's help. Yeah, though it's important to consider the nervous impairment is near inevitable. Ew. Well, thanks to you, we should be able to sufficiently study the dimensional door before we return. Time to say goodbye to the Iberian sea breeze, I guess. Do you have any idea how big the pile of paperwork is going to be at the Inquisition? Merida, try not to drop into Iberia next time, you got that? Sure. Let's all stay nicely put in our own worlds. As the great Seaborn briefly falters at the combined might of Skadi and the Knight, the ship's bow managed to stop inches from the dimensional door. Holy crap! Manager, now's your chance. Get to the dimensional door. Someday, I hope we can meet again. We shall take our leave. Let's return to the city. See it turned into a brutal battlefield, terrible roars contending with one another. After taking one final look at Rhodes Island defending the vessel Massus, we leaped into the pitch-black darkness at the center of the dimensional door. I'm swept away by the tides of consciousness. The river draws out my memories and consciousness, sublimating them away. Then... where is this Yihongyon? Look around and see the sinners strewn about the room, dozing off. I see Heathcliff crash like that all the time, but how did everyone crash at the same time, sleeping against the walls? That fight is extremely easy to get nervous impairment stacks unless you get access to the Inquisitor's lamp. Ooh. A bizarre sensation that something was truly amiss crawls up my spine. You have come too. Now that you have come to, I request that you continue your rest in your chamber. Your presence here makes it difficult to conduct cleaning activities in areas adjacent to your body. Huh? What? We just came through the dimensional door after Rhodes Island. Rhodes? You were transferred here after the LCCA discovered your company unconscious at the entrance of a lobotomy corp branch. I feel like I just went through a memorable experience, but I can't recall what. There was a hole in my memory, and this strange emotional tug at my heart. An ego I don't ever recall extracting. Oh no, Rocinante. Prithee, avail me but 5 more minutes of Scheduling wooden training dummies to wake you in 5 minutes. But the bizarre sensation naturally settles. What was that abnormality? What just happened? I don't have any answers to either of those questions, but... Wait, where's Sod? She said something about there's been a delay or something. Couldn't find Sod, who'd been bringing us odd jobs here and there during our stay, anywhere in Yihongyuan. But on the desk I did find a note filled with various requests and a letter, both presumably left behind by Sod. Got a distortion contract. Come on, time to earn your keep. You weren't going to lounge around until we got a message from HQ, right? Are they allergic to giving us time off or something? In that moment, a certain voice briefly surfaces from the abyss of my memories before sinking again. There's no such thing as absolutes when it comes to the value of life. Which means that it should never be up to the others to define the worth of life, to argue for it. Worth of life. I don't quite recall who said that, or even where I heard it from. Honestly, I don't even understand why, or what exactly it was supposed to mean. Can't change what you see by standing still. If you want to bring about a better world, then even if you may be lost in the ideals. Even still, some of those words left a lingering impression on my heart. You have to keep walking. Unable to sit still, I got up from my seat and began waking up the sinners one by one. Yeah, it's not like we're getting anything done here. On your feet, guys. Time to get to work. The sinners each begin waking up, some of them looking around to get back to their bearings. Like they were just pulled out of a long dream.
마침내 굴레 하나를 끊었어.
Phew. That was
두려움
certainly a
없이
lot.
나아갈 수 있는
And that's
아씨가
it.
그리던 홍원이 한 번 더 가까워진 것이요. 그러니
Awesome.
언젠가 제외할 날
We managed to do it.
꼭 내게도 은자를
Alright,
풀어주시오.
I gotta get this, for one. Start with
난
that,
그것만을 바라고
and then
온몸에 피를
this, and then I can grind
쉼 없이 달리고 있으니
for the rest. I need 600. I'll work on grinding that over the next 2 days. Oh, man. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Order 2. We're taking that. E.G.O. BG. Take that. Confirm. Oh, that looks so cool. And then they delete the event. Why not take a support and try the hard modes? Oh, I could maybe do that on my own, but I'm not going to be doing that while we're live here just because I do have to get to bed for some work. But man, that is awesome. That was so good. They did so well with this. I'm very happy with what they managed to do and what they managed to accomplish with this. That is such a cool overall event. And realistically, that was... It kind of sucks that they're not, going to keep it, but man. That's awesome. Rhodes Island. Limbus X Arknights on your card now. I know, and it's so perfect. It's so fitting for what we've got going on here on the channel. So, Limbus X Arknights, and I keep my Honglu E.G.O there. Honglu and Ling. I still have no Hong Kong left, chat. We have no Hong Kong left. We gotta collect some stuff from our past, though. What do we got? Okay, and this. Give me that. Okay, so that's more stuff. And then let's do this. Let's make our modules. Okay. Oh, we got more stuff.
They might bring it back eventually, though. You never know. Who knows? I mean, I think it's been successful enough and it's talked about well enough that I don't think they're going to, excuse me. I don't think they're going to have to look too far to know that people really enjoyed this and would love to see more. So, would love to see it back in some way, shape, or form. So, it sucks that none of them will remember Terra. I mean, yeah, it does. That is kind of sad. That has me feeling a little something at that thought. But we'll remember. We'll remember for them. They will remember the E.G.O at least. Even if the E.G.O is confusing and they don't know where it's coming from, but... So this is the end of the stream. Yes, unfortunately, it's going to be just because I need to get to bed to kick off this week pretty well. I think for the most part, I don't have anything too crazy going on with work this week, but I still need to start off on Monday pretty well because towards the end of last week, as late as I was going with this and other streams, I was not doing too well. So I was getting to bed a little too late. So let's wrap things up for now. Okay. Don't remember if they had another collab. Ah, that's a good point. If they would do a second collab in the future, they will remember because, of course, too, we'll have egos potentially for the other sinners. Or who knows, maybe even identities. I kind of doubt identities. I think more ego. The more I think about it, and after playing the event and the story, I understand more of the ego portion of things. So why they chose egos overall. So I think that would be the better fit to continue with, but if I were to rate it, if I were to give a genuine, honest rating for this, I probably would go with a this is just my bias, but I was so happy throughout this with how well they did with the overall, the lore of Arknights, the understanding of the characters, how they talked, how they did things, the little jokes that were peppered in here and there, like making fun of Kaltsit yapping. And in the end, I think they've done enough on both ends to really incorporate the characters together and to incorporate the sinners into Terra to show their depiction of Iberia, of the Seaborn, and so on and so forth. I think, with my personal bias, I've got to give this a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. If I'm rating it out of 10, it's well deserving of that for how awesome they did with the story. But, honestly, the worst part about it is that it leaves me wanting more. It leaves me wanting more of this view through the lens of Limbus Company and through the lens of Dante and the sinners and how they see Terra, how they see other places. I'd love to see their depiction of Kasdal is just something that sticks out really crazy. And to be honest, chat, those of you that are into Arknights, I've been thinking a lot about Kasdal lately because I've got these ideas in mind someday in the future for being able to do like scenes and things in my yard in terms of like doing stuff for Halloween and things like that. Now, I've started learning a little bit about projection mapping so that I could do some different things. But I had this idea for potentially turning my backyard into a scene out of Kasdal or the War in Victoria with the Nazir King and the undead soldiers and stuff like that, just to be able to create some decorations to make some cool stuff like that. But the idea of Kasdal and the Sarkaz and their influence in Limbus Company's vein, in their lens, would be an incredible tale to be told. And to see Wishadel in this art style, oh man, would that be incredible. That would be so cool. Wishadel, Inez and Hodor. I would cry to see Teresa, but that's neither here nor there. But that's just some thought process that I've been thinking about. Different places, different types of stories that could be told in Limbus Company if they were to do a second collab. But the other thing that would actually be a real interesting tackle for Limbus would be Sammy. Sami region in Arknights and the dark, like the spirit monsters, the black spirits and things that we don't know a whole lot, the collapsals or whatever they're called, stuff like that, would be absolutely amazing. But it's worth noting you get event currency from Mirror Dungeon. See, I still haven't even played Mirror Dungeon. I unlocked Standard Mirror Dungeon, but I just haven't done any of it yet. I've been wanting to do that next, kind of like as an on-stream thing when we get into Canto 3 and whatnot, but that would be awesome. Congrats. Directors explicitly said no on the collab idea. Well, that makes sense. And like I said, I think under the circumstances, E.G.Os seem a better fit with how they told the story and with how things happened. E.G.Os for sure. I think they'd be better than the IDs. The IDs are more fitting for the other things with what we experience in the Limbus story. I would have wanted more Arknights cameos, but I loved it for what it was. Yeah, it would have been cool to see some other characters, some other different Arknights characters make appearance, but with the Seaborn and with where this story lied, I think Irene was a great choice. I don't really know who else would have fit in this particular area. And, you know, as far as Rhodes Island goes and who they had with them, of course, we had Amiya and Doctor and Kaltsit, but as far as a standard team, maybe a couple in the background and art, but as far as a character that would have like a speaking role, I don't know who else would have really fit in, because at the time we really didn't know anything about Lumen or Mizuki or any of those characters at what this timeline would have been. Maybe some of the other Abyssal Hunters, maybe Spectre could have made an interesting appearance, Gladia possibly, but I don't know. But that would have been cool to see others as well. I want to see Lapland in the Limbus Company art style. Oh. Ooh, Ryoshu with like a Hoshiguma E.G.O, or, well, yeah, because Hoshiguma is from the Arknights equivalent of Japan, so someone like that would be awesome for her. But especially the newer Hoshiguma who has the katanas and stuff, that's pretty cool. We don't even have her on global yet, but that'd be funny. I'm trying to think of who Lapland would be a good E.G.O for. That's a thought for another time, I guess, though. But anyway. Also watched an Arknights character getting influenced by the White Knights in Dark Days. That was something. Oh, yeah, that is a good point. Fanworks will be amazing. Absolutely. I love the event. I agree. It would be at home in Kasdal. Oh, for sure. Kasdal would be awesome. It'd be really cool for this kind of a story and for how they do things. Excuse me. Gregor was my hope, but that actually would have been cool. I guess, considering, yeah, I could see it. Also, let us not forget the Undertides OST. Oh, I know, they did so good with the soundtrack and the music in this as well. Absolutely. Excuse me. Oh, man. Need another drink. Hold on, chat. Ooh. Okay. I have a lot of drawing ideas for E.G.Os for Arknights characters. Oh, that would be cool. I'd love to see what you come up with, Lucky. Another thing I appreciated from the director is that they told us who would have been getting the E.G.Os a year ago, so we didn't have false hope for the sinners not getting them. Okay. That's a good thing. Yeah, keeping away from the false hope, but Cromer, please. I still don't know enough about Cromer. I just know what little bit you've told me. Obviously, avoiding spoilers. If she was a playable sinner, then I'm sure that Lapland would be awesome as an E.G.O for her, but Or Dawn, maybe Dawn. See, I don't know about Dawn, because see, the whole thing with Dawn and the horse and knight type thing that she exhibits, realistically, the first one that comes to mind for her in terms of the personality and the characters, I'm going with the Karanta race from Arknights, which are the horses, the Pegasus, that type of character. Which, yes, we got Mlynar for Gregor, but Blemishine. Neryl would be a good choice as well, but with the more bubbly personality of Dawn, for whatever reason, I lean more towards Blemishine, because Blemishine is more high-spirited like that. She would be amazing to be for Dawn, to be an E.G.O for Dawn. And I know that brings another horse-type character, but it's so much more fitting for her, you know, in that regard. But Lapland, I guess, would be cool for her in a way. It just... I'm just thinking of Dawn's personality, and I keep going to Neryl or Blemishine. But I stand strong by Last Night, Dawn, E.G.O. That would be cool, too, if they weren't going for playable Arknights characters, since the Last Night is just one that hangs in the background. He's an NPC. We never get to play as him. We just fight him, you know, on occasion, and have him in the story. It's one of those things that I don't foresee them doing that. But then again, that could be a special E.G.O that is exclusive to Limbus Company in the sense that it's Arknights based, but it's not something playable in Arknights, which would actually make it a little more cool in that regard. Did I see the Dante sticker on your bottle? Probably. You probably saw my Limbus Company sticker surrounded by all my angel dusts and lunas and my nifty. But if she was playable, I'd be broke. Uh-oh. That's not a good thing. Sanctum Exoperato is Dawn's E.G.O. I don't know if I see that fit. I don't even see that. I'm not sure how I'd see that fitting. Dawn's VA is Neryl and Korean. Ooh, okay. Sanctum Exoperato is Guido, maybe too. I don't know who Guido is, so. You don't know his character, Lucky? Oh, man. Call-outs happening in chat. I like how he looks so far. I'm sure if there's another collab, we'll get another year-long announcement. Hey, they teased it a year ahead of time, and they started, you know, with the little bits of details of what things would be. And it was pretty cool. It was awesome to actually have seen that. That got my hopes up, and that's actually how I first learned of Limbus Company, when I saw stuff on X about it, and I retweeted stuff, and I was like, this kind of looks interesting. I don't know what this is. And then Musy told me about it and got me into the game, and then, well, here I am. So it was because of Arknights that I found Limbus Company, in a way, when you think about it. So fair to say that. You will find out in Canto 3? Okay. Well, then we're not far from finding out, I guess. So, all right, chat. Excuse me. I do need to go get my dailies done on my OG Arknights account and try to do another pull on my free pull, and hopefully, finally get Exusier. I'm over 200 pulls on that account, and those ones were all saved up. I didn't buy any of those pulls. I saved up every pull on my OG account, and I just crossed 200 yesterday and still haven't gotten her. So it's kind of crazy, but oh well. At least I could spark for Skadi altar on there. I could get Skadi's altar on that banner, but I hope to get Exusier soon, because then I can just be like, I'm done. But I'll have her on both accounts. Glad they actually made it happen. I was so worried. I know. You said multiple times you were worried about that, so I do remember that. It's awesome you had time to prep for the event too. Oh, for sure. In terms of what they gave you time-wise, you know. Night and get better, Johnny. I appreciate that, Bio. Take care. Have a good night. I'll try to get better. There's still 2 days left if you want the final Arknights visual. Well, 2 days left, but I will definitely be getting the stuff out of the shop. I'm going to grind for sure offline. Excuse me. I am in really bad shape. But yeah, I'm going to continue to grind and get that last little bit out of the reward shop. I'll get that effect, the special banner, and get that added into my thing. I need 600, and when I was farming the stages, I was doing like 4 or 5 or something, and I was getting like 22 per stage. So I'll be able to get that. So in maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. There's still 2 days. Oh, okay. I read that. Dumbass. Sorry. I got Inez and Penance dupes. Aww. Well, the dream was alive. both good characters, but the final collab nodes gives a lot of currency. Maybe I'll play that a couple times through while I'm at work tomorrow if it's not too busy. If I don't get busy, especially over like my lunch break, I can sit and do stuff if I get a freaking lunch break, because I technically have a lunch break, but people disrespect that so damn bad. But if I have any kind of chill time, because last week I was by myself the entire week, this week I at least have my other IT presence back, so it'll be more than just me on a few days. If things are easy, I can sit and play. And what's funny is Limbus Company is one of the only games that is not blocked on our network for some reason. Like if I try to log into Arknights, because it requires more of an online connection, it won't, like it'll get blocked, the connection to the server. But Limbus Company, like, and the thing is, like, our servers, our networks also block updates, but for whatever reason, Limbus Company can update and connect to stuff like that. Even though there's not online really, I can get any of my updates and stuff like that. It's really weird, but I sit and play it. It's strange. It's random, but oh well. I found out specifically because I was doing the grinding for the event the other day, Friday, I think, while I was sitting there, but it was cool. My work network is real bad when it comes to blocking stuff anyways, and some of the stupidest things, but it's a government contractor, so of course they need compliance with what they want, so I'm glad I'm only the IT guy there, but whatever. At least I use them, yeah. That's a good thing. How? Limbus is really lax on that, but this is both really infuriating and really funny at the same time. Yeah, I will grind and get what I can out of the reward center over the next 2 days, and we'll for sure have that last little effect. Anybody who hasn't added me yet on Limbus Company, you'll see that, if you add me, you'll see that pop up on my card there at the end. I'll stick that on the bottom. Or maybe I'll stick that one at the top and rotate. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I'll keep it decorated and nice. For now, chat, I do have to get going because I need to get some sleep, which I've got 5.5 hours at this point before I have to get up, and that's a solid sleep for me, so I will feel comfortable with that. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I'm very happy with what they did. So here's to more Limbus Company and Arknights collaboration in the future. On both sides in the future would be awesome. With that said, I appreciate everybody for taking the time out of your day to hang out here while we were live. This is probably one of my most successful streams in a while because I don't always look at this stuff, and I don't always like talking about it because of it kind of feels weird to talk about on stream. And I know some people see it as taboo and stuff like that, but there was 2 points tonight that we peaked at 27 viewers. I've never had that happen before. That's insanity. So yeah, with that said though, this has been successful. This was a lot of fun and well worth the time and the effort. So guys, I appreciate you all. We will be back maybe tomorrow, if not Tuesday for sure, with Arknights probably. We'll be continuing and trying to finish the Arknights event. So that said, that is it for this one. Take care, and we'll see you all back on Terra sometime. Sleep, see you, night. Get well soon. Awesome job. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later.